you? I'm Danny. I'm on a slightly different mic because I'm wandering around my house today. In fact, I'm here. I think that's on the... Yeah, I can see myself on the camera. And I'm here with Robin.
Hello, I'm Robin. Shit.
You spilled it everywhere! I'm going to the kitchen while we yap.
Sorry.
And today...
Sorry.
I've gone to a different room already, but you can't see where I've gone. Today, we thought it would be fun to do something we did last year around this time, which is do a little puzzle together. However, rather than just do a little puzzle, what we also thought would be fun is play with kitchen paper.
Yay.
What we also thought would be fun is to talk about stuff we liked in 2024. We're going to do a game of a year sort of situation.
How many games?
37.
37? I've only got 10.
Oh, I can cut it down to 10.
All right.
Sorry to my number 11 game. It says here, Kid Icarus Uprising again.
Again.
Again. I know, they came 11th this year.
Always the bridesmaid, never the bride.
Exactly, Medibot. It's Migs.
Migsy.
Migs. It's Riggs Gaming. Hello, loves.
Sorry for making a mess of your lovely mats immediately.
That's okay. He's always getting into trouble.
Should we see what jigsaw puzzles we're going to be doing today?
Yes. So, Robin, we went shopping over Christmas thinking it would be nice to do this stream again. And we went to, well, I was going to say a toy shop. It was more of a garden centre. What did you find in the garden centre?
I found British Wildlife 500 pieces.
Yay! Look. Stoat.
Stoat is there.
Stoat is there.
You know them from Inscription.
Yeah, I don't like them.
Oh.
I don't like them at all. So many pieces. If I'm being honest, this is kind of the background noise of the stream.
Yeah, we're here to chat.
A kind of stoat. Thank you so much. Hi, Dusty. It's time to smash a Puzz.
Do you want to do the honours?
Do I want to make a mess?
Yeah, let's make a mess.
Do it together.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Happy New Year!
Happy New Year! The ball has dropped.
Oh no.
All right.
We might need to move some of the friends out of the way because we're going to need a lot of Puzz space. I'm going to put Bob in the box there, presiding over all.
That is nice.
Do you want to hand them to me?
Oh, okay.
Give me the baby.
Oh. That's the noise she makes.
Uh-oh. She fell over.
There's Riggs.
There's Rick. Yay! I can catch Riggs. Come with me, Elfelt. Is the sound okay, by the way, everyone? We're kind of doing lav mic business again, but we've not done it in a hot minute.
I think the term is flying on instruments.
I'm flying on a bass guitar.
Oh.
So if we're going to start doing Puzz, I'm going to do the usual business of let's find all of the straight pieces.
It's actually like, I think this one's going to be easier to do than the last one because we've got these big pieces here with words in.
Oh yes, things that say like stoat or a squirrel.
This one I think actually does say squirrel on it. That's an R and an R and an
Oh, well
E.
that probably goes with there then.
Maybe?
Oh, this says give me shrew. This says gimme shrew.
Nice. That's not going to work. All right, so.
That's not going to work. Hey, Robin.
Hey, Danny.
So we've both, as you said, prepared lists of, well, you prepared 10, so I'll only do 10. 10 games of games of we'll call them games of a year 2024. And obviously it's very hard to narrow them down because we both played a lot of games and
we both missed a lot of games.
We're very, very busy.
It was a very extensive year, and we, unlike all your favourite people who've put together lists, they might be paid to play all these games. We ain't.
Oh, if someone could pay me to do something, that'd be really cool.
That would be great, actually. That'd be
I
really
suppose
nice.
my boss technically does that, but I don't want
Yeah, but like that's doing website and not playing game.
I want to play. You know what I want to play, Robin? And here's how smooth this is going to be.
Oh.
I want to play, and I'm going to go over to the computer for no reason at all.
Danny's got her list over there.
No, Danny's got her list on her phone, but she's got music over on the computer.
Oh!
What I want to play, Robin, is my number 10 game of the year, and I'm going to turn off the stream theme because otherwise that's going to make this very noisy. My number 10 game of the year, and you did actually see this before, but I lied to you. Yohani the Parhelion Namazu and the Mirage. Yay! Whoa, that's coming out the wrong speaker.
So what we're going to be doing for this is, I think it's called the remap radio format. Where
Is it?
Maybe. I know that's what they've been using for their Game of the Year stuff, and it just seems to make sense. We've each prepared our lists of 10 things, and we're going to be going through them together. However, if Danny says something that I've got on my list, or if I say something that Danny's got on her list...
For example, if I say Yohani the Bohemian and the Mazu in the Mirage.
And I said, oh, that's on my list as well, but it's at the number 7 spot. We'll wait until we get to number 7.
Yeah.
It isn't on my list, though.
What the hell?
Sorry, Danny. Sorry, Yohani.
What the hell? Apologise to all of Aqua.
Sorry to... was it... Is that
Yo Watanabe.
Watanabe, yeah. It's was too obvious. Apologize. Sorry, Ruby. Gamba Ruby.
Ruby what?
Gamba Ruby. That's her full name.
Ruby Gamba Ruby. And her sister?
I don't remember her sister's name.
Dia Gamba Ruby.
Oh, there's Kanan is there. She doesn't even go to the school anymore. She quit and got a real job.
Yeah, she works as like a mechanic or something now.
I thought she was like a diving instructor.
Oh, I'm talking about in the Mazu in the Mirage.
Okay, I'm sorry I'm not a super fan like you are. Tell us about Yohane Parahini.
You haven't named all the members of Aqua yet.
Hanamaru.
Yes.
Chica.
Yes.
It's joke. What's her name?
Mari.
Mari is there.
Mari the Italian. I'm not sure. This is a rocky start to the list already. I'm not sure who this.
I've been trying to get off this bit for 5 minutes.
I've been having a lovely time with this bit.
What could this be?
Slut.
It's not slut.
What?
Love this animal.
What would everyone at home say that is then?
Love this animal, the slut.
That's too rude. Doing streams in real life always makes me naughty.
I love it. We should do more.
Yes, Yohane the Bohemian, the Mazu in the Mirage. Oh, there is a long tail on this one. That was my Puzz. I really like Love Life. I've been a fan of it for a while. I have watched a lot of it with our dear lovely friend In, who is currently at work in a job. Imagine that. Awful.
I recommend it.
It seems hard to have a job. And, let me see. They have a number of different Love Life series. We've just been listing off one of the different Love Life groups, Aqua. And for some reason, I think it started off as an April Fool's joke a couple of years ago. They span off all of these school idols being in a little group to save their school, decided that what they need to do was spin it off into a sort of, not even isekai, just a straight up alternate fantasy world, where Yohane was a little witch, and all the other members of the school idol group just are doing fantasy jobs. One of them is a little baker, one of them is a shopkeep who's also like a superhero.
It seems like very light-hearted, high fantasy kind of stuff.
Yes, absolutely. And it's really good. It's legitimately really good. I have also watched that within. It's legitimately really good. I think we might need to make more space for straight pieces.
That's okay. I'm okay with that.
Make more room for the straights, please.
This is our Twitch stream, though.
Make less room for the straights, please.
We've got a few straight friends. They're allowed. They're encouraged.
We love them. Good luck to them. What does that mean? Good luck to them. That was Yohane the Bohemian. That was the spin-off series. That was the light-hearted, fun, high fantasy thing. It then started getting games, and I don't really know how that started. Maybe they just put the license out, but there was a Metroidvania, Blazing the Deep Blue, that came out last year. It was made by Inti Creates, who you may know from things such as they did those they did those Bloodstained side-scrollers, which were pretty cool.
Oh, I do remember those.
Those are pretty cool, and I think they also did the Blaster Master remake that came out not too long ago. They make some pretty good games. They also put it out, I don't actually know what studio made Mirage, but it's pretty good. It's also the most standard video game you can imagine for 2024. Robin, if you were to guess what Yohane the Bohemian, the Mazu in the Mirage was, what would you guess that it is?
Well, if it was a game that came out in 2019, I would say it would probably be a procedural run-based roguelike. But considering that we live in a post-Slay the Spire world, does it have cards in it?
It does, yes.
I knew that one, I'm sorry.
It's okay, it was part of a bit. Hi, Rachel! In fact, I would say that game is almost to the letter a Slay the Spire. Almost exactly. However, I don't think that's a bad thing. I think I could handle a Slay the Spire. And in fact, I did. I handled bloody loads of this game this year. It is, I wouldn't say it's particularly hugely inventive or anything, but what I would say about it is that, oh, there's the bottom corner. That's not what I'd say about it. What I would say about it is that it is incredibly cute, incredibly charming, and if you're a fan of that series already, which I was, there is a frankly enormous amount of fan service. Like, there's loads and loads of really cute art of those characters interacting and having a nice time together. I see what you're doing, you're trying to get all the labels together.
That's exactly it.
And honestly, the Slay the Spire style mechanics are really fun. They did a really, really good job with it. It is absolutely a Slay the Spire, but they did a really good one of those. And if you like Love Live, specifically if you're a fan of Yohane the Parhelion, then you will really enjoy it. There's a label with a straight piece. They made a few like original songs and stuff.
I was about to ask what the music was like, actually.
It was really, really good.
Good.
Love Live is a series based around musical tracks. There's a lot of like vocal performances with all 9 of the members of the school group, right? And they did one of those for the game too, for both of the games actually, and they're really cute.
Nice.
Basically, I don't think this game is anything hugely revolutionary, but it's a game that I really, really enjoyed and spent a lot of time with this year, and it made me happy.
Yeah.
And that's frankly all I really need from a game sometimes.
Especially in 2024.
As years ago, it wasn't the worst one I can remember.
That's true, that's true. You know what, things have gotten better.
Yeah, and they will continue to get better over the next few years.
Mark my words.
Or else we will make it happen. Sorry,
my puzzle.
I wanted to slam the puzzle pieces. Exactly, Medibot's right. It's a roguelike deck building experience in the Slay the Spire sort of vein. But hey, Robin, that's my number 10. And I imagine as we go up the list, we'll be able to talk about the items in the list a little bit more. What was your number 10?
So my number 10, and I think this might be on yours as well, because I know that we both loved it, is Thank Goodness You're Here.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Okay, we're going to talk about that later. Fantastic.
Yeah. So I'm going to go over here, because I don't have to put a song on for Robin's one, because we're talking about that later. Hey, Robin.
Hey, Danny.
I'm going to fade this music out now.
All right. What's your number 9?
My number 9 is... we're not at the point of
Actually, before you fade the music out, we'll see if we're going to talk about it later. What?
Exactly. My number 9 is a game I really enjoyed. We're not the stage where it's like, this is the game I'd die for, but I think it was a very good year for games, and this is one that really stuck in my head, because again, I played it quite a lot. Number 9 of mine was Helldivers 2.
Number 9 of mine is Helldivers 2!
Wow! We did it! Wow! Wow! Look, we're right. We're complete. We're correct.
Drift compatible.
I mean, yeah, except for the bit where you didn't put Namazu in the Mirage at number 10, but that's fine.
I didn't play that one.
That's just not my fault.
No, I'll work on that for next year, I'm sorry.
Hey, Robin, since yours is number 9 as well, would you like to talk about Helldivers 2?
I actually would love to. I had a really good time with Helldivers 2.
What's this perverse piece? What's going on with that?
It is the Starship Troopers game that I have wanted for such a long time, and they have never been able to deliver on. It is the... do you remember the bit at the start of Terminator 2 where a robot crushes a desiccated human skull? Yeah, that was awesome. Do you want the entire game based on that? And I've always wanted as well. It was really fun. You can play it single player, but it's designed as a co-op game.
If you're playing it single player, it's the experience of... It's a Lost Planet 2 experience, of course.
Yeah.
If you're playing it single player, you're kind of not getting what the game was designed for. Not saying not getting it, it's just like you're wrong. It's more like there is an experience in there. Sorry, Robin, I see a piece that is straight underneath your hand.
Huh.
It was designed to be an experience where you jump in with your friends and have a really stupid time together.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what I think both of us used it for. We would just hop into a call, play a little bit of Heck Divers, and have a really stupid time together. And then I would blow myself up in the fun hole, and you'd go, "Argh!"
But why did I get annoyed? Why did I get annoyed at you for doing that?
Because you're a hater.
Because we only had... No, we were completely out of reinforcements. We didn't have any lives left, and you thought, haha, this'll be fun. Yippee.
And it was fun. I shot really high in the air.
Leaving me to schlep it across the entire map to try and get to the exit.
You'd be schlepping that way anyway.
Yeah. But the key thing is, I was not allowed to die. And I think that team killing is actually an important mechanic in Helldivers 2. It's so fun that like they don't let you turn friendly fire off. it's so important that like some of your most powerful
The stratagems.
stratagems, that's the word. So the best ones you can get will get you killed, will get your
Yes.
friends killed, because they are very powerful, and also sometimes they have very big blast radii.
Radiuses. The stratagems, for those of you who haven't played, for those of you who haven't played, it's probably better to go back to the start a little bit. You in Helldivers are a team of doomed suckers, basically. Up to 4 doomed suckers get sent down to the surface of an alien planet. And you're there doing cleanup, basically, for what we can pretty fairly describe as a fascist regime. It's Starship Troopers. Genuinely, Robin says it's Starship Troopers. There is zero subtlety about how much Helldivers is Starship Troopers.
Yeah.
Brackets positive.
Well, specifically, it's Verhoeven Starship Troopers.
Oh yeah, not like the weird cartoon they did or nothing.
I'm in the book. That is just fascist propaganda.
Is it actually? Was it not always like?
It was not intended as a satire.
Oh, they made it a satire in the film.
Verhoeven read the book, or at least read a few pages of the book, and said, "This is disgusting. I'm not making this." And then proceeded to make one of the greatest satires of the American War Machine that has been ever put to film, basically.
Huh, I genuinely had no idea about that. Anyway, they copied his homework.
And there's a co-ed shower scene as well.
Because he's a pervert.
He is a pervert, but that's fine.
Cinematic pervert.
Yeah. Well, also during that scene, basically the cast agreed to doing it if Verhoeven was naked behind the camera when they're filming it as well, which is one of my favourite pieces of trivia about that film.
It's solidarity, but also in a way you're like, oh, okay. But yeah, like, so you like Helldivers very much does that in a way where a lot of people thought it wasn't satire, but obviously it clearly was. But it's really, really fun at the same time as that, which is why it's also a little bit weird to see people coming out and doing like the Helldivers salutes on stage at the Game Awards and stuff like that. But you can tell it's because that studio really loves that game. And that game had like a very troubled development cycle. It almost didn't come out. Like, they ran out of money basically, and I think it was Sony at the time. Sony was ready to pull the plug. Which seems ridiculous in retrospect with how much they're trumpeting the game now, but there you go. Sony don't really know what they're doing these days.
Let's not talk about Hi-Fi Rush.
No, it's fine.
That was Microsoft, wasn't it?
Tango got saved, it's fine.
Yeah, they did. Good for them.
Me talking about all the drinks when my fridge breaks. It's nice to look over in chat and see Dusty say he's so Dutch. I mean, Robin, I think you would agree. I consider myself a European. We grew up in the UK in the 2000s. We consider ourselves Europeans, right? The idea of the high-minded pervert is one that's very fond.
Do you mean the Merovingian?
No, not the guy with the cake in the Matrix. Why? How can you remember that name?
I don't have to answer that question.
Okay, you don't have to incriminate yourself. Helldivers is that is all the set dressing basically, but the game is you and up to 3 of your doomed friends go down to the face of the planet, and you are very explicitly doomed. You're
fired out of a gun from orbit.
You're fired out of a big gun from orbit, and if you die, they just send another one down.
It's so bleak.
You play a different character every time you die in that game. It's really like it is so hugely on the nose in a way that's really funny.
They put in a specific mechanic so that like the voice randomized, like you get one of 4 different voices every time you come down because it's a different person because the last person fucking aced it.
They beefed it. I think we should probably start trying to build the edge, maybe.
Started.
Oh. Fancy pants. The actual gameplay is truly like, mess with your friends, it's cool, it's fine, we expect you to do this.
I still maintain that the minefield is good. I still maintain it's a good stratagem.
And yet, you won't let me explode myself in the fun hole.
Because I'm trying to exploit the bad guys!
Yeah, and I was trying to improve team morale by jumping into a big hole that explodes. And I think it worked.
Well, you know what? It cheered some people. It gave us a good story, which is what the game's about, ultimately.
Exactly. That game is about really, like, the game is very cinematic and attempts to make moments dramatic, and it always kind of works, even when, honestly, the moments aren't actually all that dramatic. You're going to be fine, but it always manages to make it feel like a getting out by the skin of your teeth.
Every time you manage to make it to the escape helicopter, or not helicopter, the shuttle,
The little spaceship.
it feels like a hard-won battle, right?
It's just really cool, basically.
Yeah.
I put two pieces together.
Well done.
Yay! It's just a game that feels cool. Like, sometimes a game only just needs to feel cool,
Yeah,
right?
but it's good that like the tactical combat in it feels great. It's good that it's just it's a really good one of those. It's a really good team-based shooter.
Yeah.
You can play it for 3 hours. You can play it for half an hour.
We have a question from
Yeah.
our beloved friend Medibot in chat. Is Helldivers 2 a roguelike? They didn't phrase this as a question eventually, but they're not here anymore because they got dragged off the stage. Eventually?
So I think that's actually a really interesting point. I'm answering the question genuinely. That's what I do.
No, I was just laughing because you started it off with, of course, many scholars have asked this.
So, 2023 was the year that...
Fallow deer.
Fallow deer.
They've had a fallow deer.
So 2023 was the year that Payday 3 came out, which is a game that I really, really wanted to like.
Oh, that's not on our lists.
It's not on our lists,
Oh,
unfortunately.
that's a shame.
I think that the issue that I ran into with Payday 3 is that ultimately it's an Xbox 360 game. Those missions were so much fun to go through the first time when I was learning everything about them, when I was figuring out the pace of it all and going, wow, you can do this mission stealth or you can do it or loud, and there's like, it's easy to go between the two. Like you can, the stealth is a lot more flexible than there was in Payday 2. And then I finished all those levels, and then I went, okay, so now what do I do? Oh, you want me to keep playing those same levels 50 times?
In exactly the same way every time, kind of erasing the illusion of choice.
I'm not going to do that.
Let's go do something else.
But I think that Helldivers 2 manages to really artfully sidestep that by being procedurally generated, by having like procedural maps which have lots of stuff to do. A lot of the time you are kind of just doing the same types of missions.
Oh yeah, you're going to a place, you're destroying a thing, you're blowing up a hole.
Do this objective, wait out, blowing up a hole.
Where bugs live. Bugs live in holes.
But like because of the generation of the maps and the random events that you get on there, it felt so much more reactive to what you were doing. Would that have worked for Payday 3? You would have needed to
It would have to be a completely different game,
completely upend what that game was.
Yeah.
I don't think people would have been happy about it. But
the thing is that I think Payday is an example of a game that does need upending to continue.
Yeah.
It's why the original devs of Payday have gone off to start making something that I can only re-describe it as Payday, but they kind of made it sick. You know, like it's sort of sad to see how much their new game is just evolved Payday.
Yeah.
Not in a way where it's like, oh, they only can make that. More in terms of like, oh my god, they're really eating that other team's lunch.
yeah. Helldivers 2.
Helldivers 2 is good.
Really good game.
Should we move on?
Let's move on.
I think my number 8 is something I'm fairly confident that you're not going to have.
Okay.
In a way where I don't know if you've heard of this game. Although actually, you went first. Did you go first? No, I went first
You went
last
first.
time. Wait,
Well, do you want to keep doing this?
should I just go first?
Yeah.
Okay. My number 8 is a game called Mini Shoot Adventures.
I don't know what this is.
It's a game called Mini Shoot Adventures.
Oh.
And Mini Shoot is, of course, spelled as one word with an apostrophe after it. This is, I think it's like made by a very, very small team. It sort of appeared out of nowhere earlier this year, and it's a game I completely fell in love with. I believe it's one of a series, hence Mini Shoot Adventure.
Okay.
Sorry, Hanukkah is on all the pieces. That is so cool. It combines very familiar mechanics in a way that I thought was really, really interesting. It's Mini Shoot, the series itself, is a game where you play as a little spaceship. I guess it's more like a little jet. You fly around.
Like the Campanella.
A little bit like a Campanella, but more of like a jet situation. You're jet shaped, but you're. It's never really explained because it doesn't need to be. Like you appear to be part of a race of like cool sentient jets.
That's neat.
And you start off underground in a situation that's called somewhat reminiscent of, say, when you'd wake up in a Breath of the Wild. You come out of like, oh my god, you come out. Congratulations to Mini Shoot Ship.
Congratulations.
You come out of like an old tomb and you come up to an empty village and you sort of have to explore the world, and you eventually find out that there is an overarching plot. There is corruption taking over the world, right? And you save a number of other ships from this corruption. You rescue them and bring them back, and it's very like, it's structured in a sort of explore the overworld, find a dungeon, work through the dungeon sort of sense. But it's really, really cool. The combat itself is, I don't know if I call it, well, actually no, it kind of gets kind of bullet hell. The combat itself is bullet frantic. As you are a little spaceship, you shoot bullets, and you have very different options and loadouts and like artifacts and stuff that will change how you shoot, and you can level up because it's an RPG, because it's a game.
Of course.
But the gist of it is dodging very, very difficult bullet patterns to beat these large bosses, and the bosses themselves are really innovative. The way that they've made enemies work in a sort of you're exploring a dungeon sense, but also you are doing bullet shooting sense, is really cool. It is just a very satisfying, very charming little game. Like, graphically speaking and musically, the game is super, super lovely too. It's just a very cute little game that gets a little bit spooky. There's corruption, people are getting all turned purple by the evil juice. But it's just really, really fun. It was a really cute little game that I spent like a week playing earlier this year when I was sick. And I just sat there, and that's kind of all I did for a couple of days, because I was sick.
You were sick, yeah.
I was sick, and I just played Mini Shoot Adventures.
You didn't need to be making excuses. You were sick.
I was sick.
Cool.
That game is really good. If you like little adventure games, if you've ever enjoyed like an old style Zelda or anything, I would really recommend it. If you like games where you play as a spaceship dodging bullets, I would also really recommend it.
That sounds like fun. I think I will check that out. I'm looking at the thumbnail for the arts right now. It looks lovely and dingy.
It's really, really cute. Shall I move over to the computer and get ready to see what your number 8 is?
Yeah. Yeah, although don't get ready too fast because we might have the same thing.
Oh, I doubt it. My number 8 was Mini Shoot Adventures. Hey, Robin, what's your number 8 game?
My number 8 game is web fishing.
Oh, I didn't put that on my list. That's a fucking banger. Let me find the music for web fishing. Here we go. Here's the music for web fishing. Hey, Robin, tell me
Here's a MIDI of Hotel California, which is how I've been spending my time in web fishing recently.
You've been playing web fishing different. He's web fishing different. He's not moving normal. Hey,
This
Robin.
shit ain't nothing to me, man.
Why?
Web fishing was a really fun little experience. I think it came along at like just the right time. It's not even really like a cooperative game. It's a multiplayer game. It's kind of just like a lobby.
It's like a virtual hangout kind of game.
It's a virtual hangout game where you and all your different friends get to be funny animal people, and you get to go to the lake, you get to go to the creek, and you get to cast your line into the water, and you get to try and catch different animals.
It's a parallel play simulator, basically.
Exactly, yeah. But then, like, you play it for a little bit more, and you realise, like, I don't know if I'd call it depth necessarily, but there's so many, like, weird ideas in that game. I made the joke about the Hotel California MIDI. They give you a guitar. It's a functioning guitar that, like, has 6, you can, like, save different chord shapes on it.
They actually ask you to basically do guitar tablature. It's the only game I've ever seen integrate guitar tab into it.
It's so weird. But, like, it's just... Every time I boot it up, which doesn't need to take very long, I just have a really like enjoyable little experience. I'll run about for a bit. I'll meet all sorts of peculiar folks, and then I'll put the game down. It's even got its own like. It's even haunted by its own cryptids as well. Don't let Grinches show up in your game. I think, like, considering some of the other games that are my honourable mentions, this one being number 8 might frustrate some people, but make your own list.
No one's getting frustrated at your list, Robin. You're allowed to have choices.
Thank you. Yeah, web fishing. It's really nice. It was just really fun to get all our friends together and join this multiplayer lobby, and everybody gets to make their own cat or dog, and then you just
rabbit.
Or rabbit. Or did they add rabbit ears yet?
No, but mine was kind of a rabbit.
You can be a bit bunny if you want. Yeah.
But that was the experience. It was you were getting together for a couple of hours in a lobby. And Lily and I streamed it as the just before Christmas thing because we just wanted to hang out.
Yeah.
It is extremely just sort of get in a big room together and relax. You're fishing at the same time as you are kind of just chatting shit is the thing, and it's really nice.
It is absolutely a just chat and shit game, which is, you know what, exactly what I wanted. It's a really good one of those.
That's what I wanted.
That's what.
It's not left us in 2024, has it?
No, unfortunately not. Yeah, the customization is really nice in it as well.
Just nice to make a funny little animal character.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on, I wonder if that's on your list.
It isn't, because it's a little thin on the ground right now, but we'll get to that later.
I forgot to mention that too. Should I go over to the computer?
Yeah, that was my number 8. Danny, what's your number 7?
Well, we'll find out soon, won't we?
I hope so.
Oh, oh, this is maybe one that's on your list. I don't know if you've played this very much. We're going back to the well, everyone.
Oh.
Oh, we're getting back on it. Wait, did I not open this in the tab? Am I a fool? Am I nature's fool? Let me get it open. My number 7 is Peglin.
Oh, I have not played Peglin yet. This is not on my list.
Let's talk about Peglin. It's time for another certified run-based deck builder moment. You kind of build a deck in this one, but it's made of balls as opposed to cards. It's Peglin hours. Peglin's fucking cool. It came out this year. It hit 1.0 in this year, but it's been in this year. It's been in early access for bloody ages, honestly, because everything has, huh?
Yep.
Those don't go together.
I think you finished the horseshoe bat.
I have not. I've been running back and forth from the computer, having a good time.
Doing admin.
So you may well have heard of Peglin. It's been kicking about for quite some time, but as it technically hit 1.0 this year, it's on my list. It came out this year, right? Peglin is, well, have you heard of Peggle?
Yes.
What if they made Peggle a roguelike and you played as a goblin?
Ooh, I do like playing as a goblin.
I'm now realising, my second Slay the Spire flavoured game on the list. Can't wait for Slay the Spire 2, clearly.
Oh no!
That's fine. I got over it. What was I saying? Peglin. It's just really, really good, basically. It is actually pachinko style. It's similar to Peggle in that it is basically pachinko.
You launch balls.
You launch balls. You launch balls at a big board full of pegs. That's where they get the peg.
Oh!
That's right, Medibot gamers love pegging! It's been a great year for pegging with gamers.
We gotta keep that rent.
We gotta. What are they saying? Oh yeah, it's just really, really good. Basically, it is just a really, really good game. I don't think it has anything like hugely revolutionary. I'd say it uses a lot of the tropes of the genre at this point, but puts a spin on them in really interesting ways. Because obviously, the main mechanic of that game is the pachinko, right? It does pachinko mechanics in a way I think is really, really fun. It just kind of, it's one of those games where there's no real, I don't think there's a real banner feature to talk about, but the way that everything slots together is super, super satisfying. It is a game you can really lose yourself in. It is also a game where there's a lot of content. You can keep playing Peglin if you want. It's really cool, basically. If you want a game you can play just very, very quickly, throw yourself into, have a little run of it, see where your balls bounce to. Peglin is for you. If you're not interested in that, you don't have to play Peglin.
You don't need to do anything.
You don't have. We're not going to make you do anything.
See, I'm going to talk about some criticism I've heard of the game, but it's not necessarily criticism. That sounds like someone saying, "Hey, fuck Peglin."
I'm going to talk about why your pick is bad.
I watched Jacob Geller talking about how Peggle is too good for this world.
Yes.
And what he said about this was that he's been playing a shit ton of Peglin.
Yeah.
Because Peglin's really good. That's why it's number 7.
Peglin is really, really good. I will also say it's no Peggle.
Yeah. And this is the thing, because Peglin is a really good one of those, but it is a deck builder. You do get a lot of shit. It doesn't there's a lot of stuff that happens.
There is some what's it called? There's like chaff.
Yeah.
Like that is sort of
The inevitable downside of a lot of like roguelite or deck builder style games, which has come up in the last few years, right? It's why I feel a lot of developers have kind of realised that that adding random generation to your game does not necessarily mean it's going to be more successful or have more of a lifespan, right?
Yeah.
Because it's very, very difficult. Sometimes, actually, what you're doing is creating actually, we've seen this year with some Risk of Rain patches, for example.
Ooh.
For example!
Ooh, we're going there.
Creating a successful procedurally generated game is a very, very delicate balance. It's not just a case of adding more and more and more and more, and it will inevitably get better. You're actually changing the balancing of the weights in a very, very complicated set of clockwork.
Yeah.
And it turns out that if you unbalance those weights even a little bit, literally everything else in that device is completely off kilter. Everything else feels terrible. A good roguelike feels like a very, very perfectly tuned antique clock.
It is fascinating, right? Because I have tried to enjoy Risk of Rain a few times, and I can appreciate it from distance. It looks like a masterpiece, or at least it was a masterpiece in game design.
And then they broke it.
And then they broke it.
It's fine.
But like hearing about all the ways in which it has been broken is kind of fascinating. Like you take it for granted just how precise the game design of that can be at times, you know, until
it's broken, you don't quite realise how complex making something like that is.
It was Gearbox, right, that took over?
Yeah, Gearbox. So the original developers of Risk of Rain 2 sold the IP. Hopoo, because they made Risk of Rain 1
and Risk of Rain 2, and I think at some point eventually you decide, I want to go work on something else. So they went away to work on Deadlock at Valve, which is why Deadlock has a certain je ne sais quoi that makes it feel similar to Risk of Rain 2, I suppose.
Maybe that's why I can't get on with Deadlock.
No, I think it's because the games last 40 minutes.
Sorry, SETI.
What?
SETI really likes that game.
They're allowed.
I'm saying sorry because I
You don't have to get defensive. You're allowed to dislike a thing.
Yeah.
I do definitely think that Peglin has some chaff.
Yeah.
But I think it comes together in a way that is still really, really fun, you know?
Yeah.
There is enough choice, enough mechanics going on in that game to make it a really satisfying experience.
Yeah. I should also mention that the reason why Jake Gell was talking about it in comparison to Peggle is because you can't really get the Peggle experience anymore. Like, if you try to play Peggle now, it is microtransactions out the wazoo.
Yes. As has happened with many PopCap games, unfortunately EA has got their tendrils into it.
Cannot recognise that game anymore.
Yeah. It's weird, right? Like any game that we'd consider, I get PopCap is the example because they were kind of the standard bearer of what you might call casual gaming for a while, right? They were making little things like, hey, you heard of Bejeweled? But also things like Plants vs. Zombies, genuine all-timer games, right?
Yeah.
And that space in what the market was, I guess, doesn't exist anymore because mobile gaming became what it became, right? Like mobile gaming on your phone grew and grew, and people realized you could Zynga it, right? Like you can get whales in there.
Yeah, that's a. I mean, it's a cruel way of putting it, but it's also the most apt way of putting it. They Zyngaed it.
Oh, there is a recording of I believe a Zynga executive. Well, maybe just some dude who was at Zynga at the time talking about monetization in their games. Nothing makes me more angry than that video. It's repulsive.
I've not seen this one, but I can see why it would radicalize you.
A game on Steam called Letterquest, which is a good successor to Bookworm. Bookworm is
Bookworm is a game I played loads of at school.
Oh, buddy.
It was Scrabble-esque, and there was a worm with glasses, and he was cute, and he would encourage you to make better words. That's a bad explanation of a game. It was really good. I played so many PopCap games. I played loads of Rocket Mania. I played loads of Zuma. You heard of Zuma?
I heard of Zuma.
You heard of everyone's heard. You've got Zuma on your Xbox.
Bookworm Adventures. Oh,
Insane Aquarium. Oh, they made so many bangers.
I loved Insane Aquarium. I had a really good time with that game.
PopCap made great games, and it makes sense they get bought up, but it's a little bit sad to see what things like Plants vs Zombies has turned into. You know, like the mobile versions of Plants vs Zombies that are ostensibly the same game are so battered and smashed up with monetization. It like purports to be the same game, but mechanically some of the levels are impossible, right?
Yeah.
There is no game design to it, so it has no juice. The design is how can we make you spend more money? How can we make you spend more diamonds, right? Rather than how would this feel, what kind of puzzle do we want the user to do? Which is kind of sad. And that's not to say there aren't people who care very much about those games working on them, right? It's just there is ultimately some suit somewhere saying, we gotta milk those guys for all they're worth.
Yeah.
We gotta milk those gamers.
Oh, don't.
What?
let's move on.
Okay, I mean, I don't see what I said there was a problem.
Gamers love pegging.
Gamers love pegging. Gamers love... Hey, Robin, what was your number 7?
My number 7 is Wilmot Works It Out.
Oh, sick!
Which I suppose is, we're doing jigsaw puzzles here, aren't we?
Is this why you want to do a jigsaw puzzle?
No, I just like doing jigsaw puzzles.
Is that your jigsaw boy voice?
That's my impression of myself.
You're such a jigsaw boy. We've got those Wilmot noises on. This is a game we streamed together. I know this one.
Yeah, you
This
played
game
this.
this game is joyous. This game is gorgeous.
Yeah, so we can chat a little bit about this one in that case.
I think we should do.
I had a really good time with Wilmot Works It Out. This is one that's actually like a late addition to my list. I was looking at something on there that I just put a lot of time into, and I thought, no, you know what? This isn't one of my games of the year. And I scrapped it and I put Wilmot Works It Out right there in the same
You
place.
promoted the boy.
I promoted the boy. It was honestly, we're talking about Helldivers. It was a field promotion there. I said it.
It was a what?
A field promotion.
Oh!
Wilmot Works It Out is a jigsaw puzzle game about the protagonist of Wilmot's warehouse.
It's Wilmot.
It's Wilmot. What I was so impressed by, and like kind of what I was using to, like how I was talking about the game to sell it to people essentially, was that it uses the exact same control scheme as Wilmot's warehouse, but the difference is that it's a completely different style of game, which is kind of incredible. Like instead of being this game about memory and managing space and preparation, it becomes a game about slow pace and solving jigsaw puzzles, which is kind of incredible that it works so well.
Because it is genuinely, you control it exactly the same way. The things you are doing are effectively exactly the same, just rather than stacking cubes, you're stacking jigsaw pieces.
It's like, imagine if they made a belt action game that controlled just like Street Fighter 2, you know? Because
They did that. It was called Street Fighter 2000. I think it was terrible. Was it Street Fighter 2000? There was a NES one that was Doggers.
There was Street Fighter the movie, the game. That was a belt action for a bit as well, wasn't there?
Sorry, I feel like I've taken away from your point.
Well, that's the thing. They tried it with different genres. It didn't work out.
No, it didn't. It really didn't.
But like, it's fascinating that like they stuck the landing on it and stuck it so well as well.
See, it's really odd to think of like, when you suggested we play Wilmot Works It Out, in my head it was like, well, it can't possibly be related to Wilmot's warehouse, right? But what else could it be?
Yeah.
Where else would someone put the name Wilmot in a game, right? And it's like so confident is the thing. Like, it's all, also, I'm going to move these pieces because I think this is all the middle at this point.
I think so. Call me Jimmy Eat World.
This is all the sweetness. This is all
Bleed American.
Bleed America. This is all. I have to go.
We can finish this bit. We can end it there.
I don't remember that song. Hi Ed, Happy New Year, Happy New Puzzle.
I will also say that the final thing that happens in this story for Wilmot Works It Out is so lovely and adorable, and thinking about it might make me cry if I think about it too hard. It's so nice. It's such a lovely like finale to everything that gets set up there. Also,
I hope that guy gets a rest.
You're playing his day. You're seeing him have a rest.
Oh yeah,
He's a
Wilmot Works It Out is explicitly his downtime.
Yeah. Yeah, really cool little game. Just really charmed by it. I don't know if it's going to be making many people's Games of the Year lists because nothing explodes in it, but that's reductive.
That is reductive. Nothing explodes in Namazu in the Mirage.
Yeah.
That's not true. She casts explosion magic.
Whoa! That sounds great! Get out of here, Wilmot! I need to play Parahesion.
No, Wilmot works it out. I think it's one of the most surprising games we streamed all year, just with how cute it was.
Yeah.
Not to say like the others weren't, it's just, it took me by surprise because obviously I had a preconception of what Wilmot's Warehouse is, right? I've played that game. I really like that game. But good lord, it's stressful. That is a game about managing stressful situations. It is a game that throws you into warehouse management. Obviously, a fun gamified version of it, but that is a game where you get yourself in knots. And Wilmot works it out, takes that same structure and makes it just a very calming, relaxing experience about decorating your house.
Yeah. And there's so much space dedicated to what colour do you want the walls to be? What colour wallpaper do you want in there as well? It's it's a major part of the game is decorating your lovely little abode. Oh, baby!
Oh, baby!
So we've got looking at the sheet here, we've got a beaver on this side of the otter, and then on this side of the waterfall we've got the fops.
Oh yeah, I've just been flying without instruments. I've been flying without wings.
Wow.
Thank you so much. Hi Tala, it's a strawberry scrunchie. I don't know where Ian got it from, but she sent me it for Christmas. I got it yesterday, so I'm wearing it today and I love it.
It's really cute.
Are we done with your number 7?
I think we're done with my number 7.
Head over to the computer zone and prepare the next set of music.
I'd love that. Thank you so much.
Well then, Robin. I don't know what you've put for your number 6, but let's find out what I put for my...
What I will say is that now that I'm done with What Works It Out and Animal Well, I am done with my cozy games, and the rest of it is for sickos.
Yeah, no, I think I know what at least one of them is, maybe 2 of them. You pervert. Oh, I just walked over to where I could see more chat. Hi, Phil. I'm glad you saw the Wilmot VOD. I uploaded the Wilmot VOD the other day, catching up with my homework from after Christmas, and I sat there and watched a chunk of it and thought, I really like this game.
I'm glad you liked it so much.
It banged. You know what else banged?
What else bangs, Danny?
Pepper Grinder.
Oh, baby. Pepper Grinder is not on my list, but it was a really hard one to cut, honestly.
Then it's time to talk about Pepper Grinder.
I kind of didn't put it on because I knew you were going to talk about it.
Weirdly, I did that with a couple, but not my top few, let's put it that way.
Sure. Those ones have earned their flowers, I suppose.
Yes. Let's give Pepper Grinder some flowers. Pepper Grinder, again, a game that we streamed a few months ago now. I believe I've also uploaded the VOD for this one. I could do so much linking off the back of this video when I upload it. It is a speed game at heart. You play as a girl called Pepper, and you have a big fucking drill. That's the grinder. You are trying to blast your way through... Beaver.
When they me there.
Beaver is there. You're trying to blast your way through a series of small levels. I think it's 4 worlds. It's probably about 10 levels each. It is a small but perfectly sized game where you can jump. You shouldn't really be jumping, but you're able to jump. Your main mechanic in that game is digging through dirt at top speed and launching yourself out of dirt as fast as you can into the air, across gaps, onto thingamajigs, onto switches, onto grappling hook points, into a tank or something. Like
through a stake.
Through a stake. That you could go to the dinner level. The ways... This is kind of what I love about a really, really good indie platformer. It's what I think, really good examples of the genre have always been really, really good at. If you think about something like a Celeste, if you even go back and think about platformers that have been huge in the indie space in a long time, like a Meat Boy, for example, what they're really, really good at
is changing up the way you interact with the game.
Yes.
You know? Like, you are given your primary verbs, and those verbs don't ever really change, but the way you can verb those things does, based on the level you're in, based on the setting, right? So, with Pepper Grinder, for example, you go to a kitchen and there's steak, or you go to an icy level, and you can go through the sea, but not for too long, because you'll freeze to your dive.
That one was really stressful.
It was really scary, but it's the way it reinterprets what you're doing with your basic movement mechanics to either give you a better sense of speed or give you an interesting new challenge. It is really, really cool. And I say that game's very, very short. It is 4 or so worlds, and all those levels are complete bangers. It's so tightly designed.
We talked about this a little bit at the time, but I just wanted to bring it up again now. One thing that really stood out to me about Pepper Grinder was going back and looking at some in-progress videos from the developer as well about, like, that were showing off essentially earlier levels, and they look completely different. The earlier levels in that game are huge and kind of easy to get lost in, whereas the final thing is a short, concise, very tight experience overall, in a way that I was really impressed by. Like, it feels like a game where they got everything in place and then essentially just cut away and chiseled away at the project until they got it where they needed it to be. You know?
I think that might be mouse.
That looks like a field goal to me.
Mouse.
Yeah, I think that it's a game about the design of that feels like it was an act of curation.
Like, there was a huge amount of iteration and design that's gone into each of those levels to the point where you can really, really feel it. And where would a mouse sit? Sorry, I'm muttering to myself about mice.
Do you want to have a look at the lid?
Oh yeah, probably. But the bat is sat there. The other thing I really loved about Pepper Grinder, I've got priors on this one. I was talking about it on Blue Sky just the other day. It is a speed game. There was something that changed in me when I played Neon White the other year, and I'm really vulnerable to speed games right now. So what Pepper Grinder really wants you to do is get through those levels as quick as you possibly can. There are special medals for doing it really, really fast. And within a day of us having streamed it, I had gotten a gold rank on each of those levels because I'm sick.
She's gone sicko mode. She's unleashed.
I really, really, really liked my time with Pepper Grinder. I think it is one of the best cute little platformers I've played in such a long time. Of course, the other bits are right as well. The characters are so cute. The artwork is wonderful. The music fucks. It's so good.
Yeah. One of the it's one of the most fun I've had playing games this year, honestly.
Like, there's a lot to be said for a game that is just fun. You know,
Yeah.
A game that is just fun to be in, fun to do the game.
Totally, absolutely, yes. I really enjoy Pepper Grinder. And I was completely blown away by how you made it seem effortless to get those fast times in there, although I'm sure there was a lot of effort involved.
No, it's easy, mate.
All right.
Rare use of the word mate on stream. Smashed it.
What I will say as well about... actually, you mentioned it real quick. Neon White is the best game I played this year that didn't come out this year.
Oh, Neon White is such a good game. Neon White is such a good game. I'm like 3 seconds away at any point from thinking, I'm going to commission one of my friends to draw me as a neon. There should be a neon pink.
There should be a neon
There should be a neon pink. That's how you can tell I've gone too far. Danny speedrun arc. It's true. Medibot, I'm becoming fast. I don't think I've always wanted to do a speedrun as a thing, but I don't think I have the wherewithal to get that good at it. Like, I just don't... I think my skill ceiling stops below speedrun times. That said, I surprised myself by getting #1 on the leaderboard on Neon White on a couple of levels, so maybe I've got the possibility.
Well, I think that you just need to set it a little bit lower, and I think a game like Neon White and a game like Pepper Grinder... Although I don't think Pepper Grinder has online leaderboards, does it?
It does.
Okay, there you go then.
I believe.
It gives you a way to see how you're doing and how you're able to compete against everybody else. But you can also do it in bite-sized chunks. And
Yes,
learn more.
yeah. It doesn't have to be all at once blasted through. Is that? I think that's the bottom. I think that goes over here.
I'm trying to figure out which part this is. This might be part of the Scottish Wildcat. Oh no, this is definitely the field vol, isn't it?
Oh, that's such a field vol over there.
It's going to go between these bits here, because this bit's going to be a badger eventually.
I think that is all I want to say about Pepper Grinder, other than please love her. You should love her.
Really good moment in that game when you realise that the edgy rival character in that game is called Mint,
Yeah!
because it's Pepper
and Mint! Oh, game of all time. Fantastic game.
and
Incredible
they
game.
were roommates.
Oh my god. They're in gay with each other? Okay, well, that's me. Hey Robin, what was your number 6 for the year?
My number 6 for the year is Animal Well.
No, don't talk about that.
Okay.
Stop it!
Okay. Did you get back and finish Animal Well then?
Yeah, it rules.
It's so good.
It's so good. We're not yet! Not yet!
Okay. All right.
In that case, I'm going to move on to my number 5, which is a little game called Cryptmaster.
Oh, this is one of my honourable mentions. I didn't play this one, but I watched you playing quite a lot of it. Cryptmaster's great.
It's also one of my honourable mentions in that I'm going to give it so much honour right now.
You're mentioning it.
I really am. Cryptmaster is a really odd little game, and I can say that with the most glowing praise imaginable. It is, on the face of it, a game about typing, but it's not really just a game about typing. It's a game about words, really.
Yeah.
You are revived in a scary crypt deep below the earth by a little character called the Cryptmaster, a narrator of the game as you explore a dungeon. It's the way you explore this dungeon is almost like Etrian Odyssey style, right? It is a very old, very traditional tile-based dungeon explorer where you're moving and the enemies move at the same time you move. It's the most traditional dungeon you can imagine. But when you interact with things, you interact by typing, and the game has such an unbelievable amount of responses for anything you can type. It is a genuinely really, really funny game, which is a very, very hard thing to do, as we will discuss later. It is one of a class of game, I would think. It's something that people always really, really like, and I think this game does it incredibly well, of having a funny narrator that moves you along, encourages you along, and it effectively acts as like your guide to the world, right?
Yeah.
They are narrator, but also guide. Stanley Parable-ass, right?
Yeah.
And the Cryptmaster, who is your guide, is a really funny little character. You can bicker with them. As you are reanimated adventurers, don't really have all that much of vocabulary.
You can say one word.
Can you?
Oh.
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Your character can. You have a party of characters. Your character. Well, actually, I don't really know if it is the player character so much as just one of them. One of them is a monosyllabic warrior type who's good at hitting, but one of them is a wizard, and they can say things like "Soothe." Shout out to Maz.
We're going to end up on that compilation again.
No, I think that compilation is set in amber right now. It's an important relic of Cryptmaster's year.
Yeah.
Oh, it does have a speech parser mode now as well, Frown. That's very right. They have been sort of pushing back against the idea that exclusively a typing game, because that game is also on consoles. That game has accessibility options. It's kind of for everyone.
Neat.
But it is it's an interpreter game, let's say. You can interact with it by typing, by talking, by interacting with the Cryptmaster, right? And it uses that in really fun ways, because it's actually kind of a puzzle game as well. The combat, as it is an RPG, there is of course combat. You'll find a skeleton who doesn't want to be your friend. The combat is played by you typing moves to your party members. For example, you may type to Maz the wizard, or you may type to the Storm Witch, whose name escapes me right now, do a sick lightning bolt, and she bloody will.
She's really good at those.
She's really good at those. And it's really, really fun, because you are effectively racing against the clock to input those moves as the enemy. The enemy is, I guess it's like an ATB style thing, right? They have a move timer ticking up and you can play with them while they do that. You can kick their ass, you can delay their turn, you can do all sorts of stuff. It's a really, really fun combat system. But outside of that, there are straight up puzzles. You'll find treasure chests, you'll find little riddles, all of which
you specifically have to do a puzzle to solve. I think the treasure chests are probably the most engaging part of,
yeah.
of that, which I'm going to talk about because I think it's a really good way to explain how Cryptmaster plays with the medium, basically, right?
I just remembered how the entire treasure chest stuff works.
It's so fun. Because the Cryptmaster also hasn't got much memory. I don't know if they've also been reanimated or are they just a little bit forgetful.
They've got a cobweb where their brain should be.
Oh, me too, buddy. They will open treasure chests and look inside of them when you find them, but they can't remember what things are called. So when you open a treasure chest, they'll be like, it's sort of small but big at the same time. And then you can tell the Cryptmaster, well, look at it and tell me more. Or can you smell it and tell me what it smells like?
Can you lick it?
Can you lick it? Can you taste it? Can you bite it? Can you throw it? You can instruct the Cryptmaster what to do with this item, and many of the verbs you tell him, he will have an answer for to help you try and figure out what this item is. And you get like 3 additional guesses, right? You can say to him, lick it. So, Robin, I've actually already said a joke, actually. But,
Yeah, so that's okay.
yeah, Rob, I don't know what this is. It's big and small at the same time.
Lick.
I know. It doesn't really taste of anything. It's sort of dusty. Weirdly dusty and hard.
Strike.
Didn't seem to like that. The outer dusty part is broken, releasing a sort of foul liquid. I don't really know what to make of this.
Feel.
I wish I hadn't done that. The liquid truly is foul. Again, dusty on the outside, but this liquid's sticking. Ooh.
I'd like to guess what the item is.
Yeah?
Is it a big egg?
It's a big egg. Big and small at the same time. That's not how the Cryptmaster speaks. I don't know what that voice was.
I liked it.
The spirit of Tim Curry entered me for a second.
So, isn't it like a very small dev team, and one of the devs is also the Cryptmaster as well?
Yes,
So,
I believe so.
yeah, it's so much work. I think there must be so much smoke and mirrors going on behind the scenes
Oh,
to not
yes.
have them record every word in the English language.
Well, I think it's really interesting because I think Cryptmaster specifically is an evolution of like text parser games, right?
If you think about like, adventure games in the true past, like on a DOS computer or something that you would see at school, right?
Yeah.
Like it would somehow make its way onto a computer. Someone brought in one of their dad's games illegally, and they're playing like, I can't think of an example. What's the really old one? You get eaten by a grue.
Oh, Zork?
Yes! Like that genre of game, right? Like text parser games. They haven't really been around that much recently, but I think Cryptmaster has a direct line of evolution through, because the Cryptmaster is parsing what you're saying. The parser is controlling the way you're interacting with the game, and it being a speech parser, again, it's a really clever evolution of that. So if you like that kind of game, I'll be honest with you, I've never really got on with that kind of game because I've always found it a bit too abstract, because I'm stupid. But I think it owes a lot to them, and it's really, really interesting to see how that sort of stuff has been combined with a dungeon crawler. I am extremely a dungeon crawler girl. I like an Etrian Odyssey, I like a Labyrinth of Galeria, I like a Val Brace.
Oh, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
No, it's fine, I know that's coming later. Oh, Wisp, honestly, I can't remember if there's a Cryptmaster demo out. There was for a really long time. It's certainly worth looking, because if that sounds charming to you, I think you would really, really, really like it.
Yeah, it is definitely one of the most like impressive feats I think I've played.
Going to my page on WikiFeet, like.
Just like, hugely impressive production. I was completely charmed by it. Really funny, like you said as well, which is hard for a video game to be.
It's a very hard for a video game to be funny. I genuinely think that funny is the hardest thing for a video game to be, because so much of what makes a joke, right, like timing, setup, all that sort of stuff, is so much harder to do in an interactive medium.
Yeah.
Because it's really easy to crash a joke when you're in control.
That's the tricky thing. They have to let you, the player, be in control of when the punchline happens. For the most part, however, they do a few tricky bits to get around it as well.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about a gag that I enjoyed, which is very puerile.
Is it when you are sick?
No. At one point you encounter, I think they're like a rat, a little rat boy, a little gross little rat boy.
A little genius.
Yeah, and they look at you, and they know that you can only reply in one-word answers, and they say to you, "Yeah, have you stopped sniffing your own farts?" And the only answers you can say to them are yes or no. And like...
Stupid.
Really stupid.
That's good stuff.
Yeah. Very puerile.
Oh dear. We've got like one more piece down here until we can complete this corner.
We've got to finish that fox off. Oh wait, is that it?
got to do that fox in.
Hang on a minute.
Oh, that is it. That's it.
Oh,
baby.
Oh, that's not it. That's not it. That's
Oh,
not it. No, baby.
no, baby.
Me when I'm Austin Powers.
Well, there's definitely that is definitely the
That's
corner.
it,
So
that's
there's
the
one
right
piece
corner,
missed.
yeah.
Wait. Oh, baby.
Oh, baby.
Oh, I'm so clever.
You've done all of this puzzle. I've just been chatting.
Yapping, please.
I've been yapping. People like yapping.
Yeah, that's what they're here for, hopefully.
That's all.
If you're here to watch us solve a jigsaw puzzle, you are actually God's strongest warriors.
We're doing our best. We'll smash this Puzz. I believe in us. This says Dormouse.
Cryptmaster, really good game.
Cryptmaster's a really, really, really good game.
That was your number
That was my
5.
number 6, wasn't it?
That was your
my
number 6?
five?
Because
What?
my number 6 was Animal Well, and you said we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, you're not allowed to talk about that. I'm going to go over here to the computer. I
Okay.
believe that was my number 5. I left my phone over here. Yes. Hey, Robin, what's
Hey,
your
Dan.
number 5?
My number 5 is mouthwashing.
Oh.
Settle in, folks. This one's gonna be rough. I hope this hurts.
So what I will say about this is that this is going to be appearing on one of my lists later, but we'll talk about it when we get there.
Yeah. I will also say that the game itself deals with some very heavy subject matter. I'm not going to be talking about that. We're going to be keeping it light and breezy.
Yes.
But,
We'll be getting cliff notes.
Exactly. Folks at home, be aware going into this one. Yeah, Mouthwashing is a game released by Wrong Organ Studios, I believe, a very small development team who previously put out a little thing called How Fish is Made, which is a strange little narrative experience where you walk through a strange factory and then something bad happens at the end of it. Mouthwashing is a game about you play as 2 different characters. You play as the captain of the ship, Tulpa, which is this intergalactic, planetary intergalactic shipping container, which is transporting a massive shipment of something that you don't know what it is. The captain crashes the ship for seemingly no reason, and you.
What's with that guy?
So you see, with its non-linear story, you see the captain about a week before the events, and then the second in command, Jimmy, months after the events as well, watching as the people try to survive in this extreme environment, essentially. It is a very, very intense and I suppose you could say cerebral experience. It does definitely get inside your head at quite a few points. I don't want to give too much of the game away, but also I suppose if we're doing the end of year discussion, I have to talk about it as well.
You can keep it vague, because
Yeah.
it is something I would like to experience as well very, very soon.
Yeah, it is short. I will say that for it as well. You can beat it in about 3 hours, and though they're a very good 3 hours, it is for the most part a walking simulator. I've seen some people say, why couldn't this just be a film or like a comic or something? But there are some really interesting parts of the ludic side of the game, as opposed to just the narrative side. It just means like gameplay. I'm trying to stop saying
the gamer zone.
I'm trying to stop saying gameplay in the same way people don't say book read or mouthfeel.
Who would say mouthfeel?
That'd be crazy. Yeah, there are some moments of that really make it make sense as a narrative game, as opposed to just like a short film. It's funny. It is funny at times as well. But like maybe you just need to be a sicko who takes their comedy black like their coffee.
You should try some cream, both in your coffee and in your comedy.
I mean, I like a latte. I'm not above it.
What's a latte in this example?
I think it's just mostly just like a funny game that occasionally has like moments of, you know what? Thank goodness you're here.
Oh no, that's like a full-on. I've put syrup in this. Anyway, sorry again. Mouthwashing.
Mouthwash. It is rough, but I think it is very interesting. It's one of those. It's something that I really like in games where you think they're telling this really big, like impressive scale story, and then it actually turns out to be a very deeply personal thing. There are some twists in mouthwashing that are intentionally very uncomfortable when you learn the truth about the situation, about why the captain did what he did. And uncovering those was quite the shock, I will say. Yeah, definitely worth checking out. Probably the best narrative experience I played last year, although I didn't play Still Wakes the Deep. That is on my list of things to look at. I think that's all I really want to talk about mouthwashing at this point, just because I enjoy the REM voice, Phil, thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Also, there's a character in there called Swansea, so I'm assuming that he's just got a Welsh accent. He's a sneakerhead.
Presumably, yeah.
Swansea's great. It took a while for me to warm up to him, but I like Swansea.
You about?
I'm about done. It really hit with a Signalis crowd. You know those kinds of people?
Yeah. The kind of people who are extremely bright about games that I need to get around to playing.
Exactly, yeah.
Should we move on to our next?
Let's move on to our next game.
Oh, in that case, I don't know how this music sounds. I'm imagining it's quite intense. I'm going to move that down, and we're going to move on to our next game. Now, this is one I know that you're familiar with. I know it's one that people at home will be familiar with. I'd like to talk a minute about Final Fantasy XIV Dawn Trail.
Oh, this is the one that I took off my list in favour of Will Not Work for Hours.
Ah, okay, well, let me stick on the Tulial Al Day theme.
Yeah, buddy, let's Sam & Max it.
Let's go! Oh, it's just good. It's
Yeah.
just good. Like, this is going to be a bit of a wider conversation, more about Final Fantasy XIV in general, to be honest, I think. After the last expansion for Final Fantasy XIV, both you and I are a bit like, we might be done with this. I don't know how they're going to get us back. We might just be done with this game.
And that would be okay.
Yeah, that would absolutely be okay. They left that story in a place that I thought was... Can we push that back slightly towards you?
Totally. I still want it to go off the end of the...
Of course. They left that story in a place that was pretty good. They wrapped up an awful lot of story threads.
What I'll say is that end really walked.
Indeed. And I found myself thinking, well, maybe I don't need to play any more of this, you know? And that's a game I've played for a very, very long time. I've been playing Final Fantasy XIV since 2.0. Oh, huge! Huge!
That's connected. That's it.
We've got one row. Huge! And yeah, we basically thought we were out for a while, right? Because a lot of our friends had stopped playing too, and ultimately as an MMO, it's an inherently social experience, right? If you're not playing with your friends in an MMO, I feel there's less impetus to keep playing, you know? Not to say that you can't play without your friends, of course. This is a mouse.
Oh!
I think this is a mouse.
That looks like a mouse to me. Looks like a house mouse, in fact.
It does look like a house mouse. Oh, it goes here. Of course it does. Lovely. So we kind of went through a bit of an arc with how we felt about 14. It was a game we always really, really liked, right? And that never really changed. But it was something we liked distantly for a really long time.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then, what is going on with that? A weird piece.
I think it's a stoat.
I think it's a stoat as well. But I don't know where the stoat would be.
Stoats.
Oh, it'd be there.
Yeah.
I'm a genius. Well, you're a genius, actually. I'm not.
I just like stoats.
Stoat.
I like a mustard.
We went to Final Fantasy XIV's FanFest event here in London. Here in the UK, down in London.
last year.
Last year. Well, no, 2023. Gotta get used to it.
And honestly, that was extremely lovely. We got to see a lot of people we really, really, really like. That goes just above Beaver, yeah. I don't know if it fits directly. Oh, that fits directly. Fits.
Oh,
like my
baby.
Final Fantasy 14 character.
Fits.
Fits. Yeah, hanging out at FanFest made us realise we really, really like these people. We haven't spoken to them for a while because naturally you drift when you're not logging into the game, right?
Yeah.
And it started. I don't think that directly connects.
Yeah.
There's a mouse piece missing there, unfortunately. Yeah, so we went down there, had a really, really lovely time, and the stuff, partially because the vibe there was so nice and we hung out with our friends and had a really lovely time, we kind of got sucked back in. We saw all the trailers, we got really, really excited for them. Some of them looked really cool.
Yeah.
And stuff there looked really cool.
My favourite moment of FanFest was when they showed off the trailer for the new class with the Warrior of Light showing up on screen swinging two swords about, and I went, why is everyone cheering? Who the fuck is that?
It's the Warrior of Light. That goes at the top with your mouse.
That's not what the Warrior of Light looks like. They're a cat girl.
Yeah. Well, no, the Warrior of Light is a bunny girl, and also they got bigger legs.
That's true.
And yeah, we were like, oh, go on then, we'll try Dawn Trail. I don't know about you, but I kind of went into it thinking like, oh, maybe I won't really feel it. My time with this will be done. I don't know how they're possibly going to follow up on... Endwalker was a very final story. You'd taken a very central role within this greater narrative arc across a couple of different expansions. You were effectively the magic baby for a really long time, right? And that is untenable in a long story. You can't continue to be the centre of attention. It feels... goofy as hell, basically. If you're continually in the right place at the right time, I mean, you kind of are anyway, but if you are continually the strongest person in the world, you're in the right place at the right time, it just becomes too convenient in a way where I can't really suspend my disbelief that hard.
Yeah.
I don't find that interesting. So when it came time to do Dawn Trail, I mean, we had a difficult conversation to have, right? Because that goes there.
Nice.
I think. No, it doesn't go there. Does that go there?
Yeah, it does. Look at the flower there.
Oh, yeah.
That's
That's a squirrel.
Squirrel.
We're looking for a squirrel piece.
That's mostly squirrel up there.
And then those pretty much connect. We need one more mouse piece to connect that right-hand side. Yeah, so the role that they had to, presumably when sitting down and writing the new expansion, think to themselves, well, what role can the player character take in the story? Because really, they can't continue to be the centre. And what they did, I think, was really, really cool. You may have heard some rumblings about this, because a lot of people were upset about it for various different reasons. Some of them because they didn't like the story, which, that's fair. Some of them because they're the worst people on the planet, and a trans woman voiced one of the characters. But they made you effectively be, I don't really know the best way to describe this, so I'll describe this in Final Fantasy terms. They made your super powerful character be an Auron to someone else's Tidus.
You're the mentor.
You're the mentor. You are an extremely strong character who gets to walk in, swagger around, and look at the villain making fun of your peppy little shonen protagonist, and go, are you sure you want to do that? Is that really what you're going? I'm going to have to stop you. In fact, there is one cutscene where you explicitly stay out of a fight and say, well, you wouldn't want to get the big scary adventure involved, would you? And your character crosses their arms and does a funny little pose. And it's so cool, because at that moment you realise, no, okay, my character is super duper strong, but it's also not really about them in this moment.
Yeah.
And the story they write, it's kind of a coming of age story in a way. It's a power vacuum. It's political, because all stories are in Final Fantasy 14. But it's about a coming of age story for a character learning to be, learning to fill that void, learning to live up to their father's position within a society, and learning to be a more caring, empathetic person. That story is very caring, right?
Yeah.
As a lot of 14 stories are, but it's about understanding people. And it's really, really lovely, I think. They managed to stick the landing on that in a way that feels... Is that a straight piece? No. In a way that feels really nuanced, I think. In a way that is very, very impressive. Because genuinely, again, I was going into that thinking, this isn't going to hit. Because of the events of the previous expansion, I was thinking, why is my character going to be there, you know?
Well, yeah, when I played through Dawn Trail, I fantasied my character. I did not want to be playing as Hugh anymore because I didn't think it made sense for where I considered his character to be. I thought that after the events of Endwalker, he would retire, he would go to Costa del Sol, he would have cocktails on the beach, and that would be it until he dies of old age. At the age of never.
At the age of 700.
Yeah.
My character's a Viera. They live to that anyway.
Oh, nice. What I ended up doing actually for the game was fantasiaing to a cat girl.
Who causes problems.
Who causes problems. She's annoying.
She's horrible, brackets positive.
Yeah, it's fun to have an annoying little brat. Oh!
That's not that.
That's it. That is it.
Is
Yeah.
that it? Oh,
Yeah.
it was just at a weird angle. Oh god, I'm so good at this. Smash a Puzz.
Smash that Puzz.
I also struggled for a long time. I still don't really have a justification for it because my character doesn't have a lot of particularly in-depth lore. My character is accidentally, stop me if you've heard this one before, a self-insert that I grew with. She was a bunny before any of my friends realised I was bunny coded. That's changed in the last year. I'm going to guess that Wicklamat is just a fan of Fitz's work. She's seen her
That's
covers on YouTube.
That's basically the plot, right? Like, Wicklamat shows up and says, "I'm a big fan of your work. Do you want to fight with next to me?"
I really love your posts on God, what? I don't know what the name of the social network. Oh, you know what? I really love your posts on the Lodestone.
The Lodestone, yeah.
Yeah. I've seen you making terrible posts on the Lodestone and making bad pictures. Do you want to teach me how to do it? And your character like nods and goes, "Oh no."
I really like Wicklamat, and I think that
She's so cute.
I know that some people didn't.
She's my
like
friend.
Her, and I want to know. I want to have a conversation with those people because I think that there are valid reasons. I think I was immediately endeared to her when the first cutscenes she shows up in, she has this celebratory meal and then eats something that's way too spicy and tries to play it off like she's actually fine, but she really isn't fine.
She's so cute. I completely understand it. She's a character archetype, right? She is energetic, she's stupid, and she fights for her friends.
Yeah.
And not everyone likes that character archetype, and that's so fine. Like, it's so fine, right? This what the difficulty of talking about Dawn Trail is, because it is completely fine not to like her, not to like the story, but it's the water's kind of muddied by the worst people on the internet. Personally, I like. This may not surprise you. I like that character archetype. It was, in terms of my character's involvement in the story, it was 2 people making each other worse. Well, 3. Alice was there.
Alice was there.
Alice was there making everything worse. I love her.
What I will say about the story of Dawn Trail, and this is why it didn't make my list, is that it kind of falls apart in the second half, or at least it fell apart in the second half for me.
I fucking love Final Fantasy IX. I'd put Final Fantasy IX on this list if I could. Surprise! That's what it was about the whole time!
Yay!
I want to talk to you about Garnet till Alexandros. I actually hadn't really thought that might be part of why it's not on your list and it is on mine.
Yeah. I really enjoyed my time with Dawn Trail.
The Arcadian though.
Oh, buddy.
Honeybee Lovely collab.
Collab
though?
when?
Collab? Hey, I'll leave my tombstone number here. Collab? Is that a straight piece? No, it's a lumpy piece. What's the point?
Stoked.
We're missing like a couple of straight pieces.
I'm going to pulse over this way a little bit so we can get this edge in with the monitor there. So yeah.
They kind of done it again, basically, right?
Yeah. They figured it out. They got us back in. I had a really good time with that game, and I think it would be disingenuous to say that I didn't really enjoy that one. But it's just that
there were a lot of other good games this year. This year has been a very powerful year for games.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Speaking of which, God, I'm so good at this.
Okay, so that was
That
your
was
number
my
4, wasn't
number
it?
4, I believe. Yeah.
Okay.
So hey, Robin, what's your number 4?
My number 4 is Balatro.
No, it isn't.
We're going to be talking about that later.
We'll talk about that later.
Have we talked? So I think the top 3 are all games that.
No.
Huh?
Wait. Oh, I forgot to put something really important on here.
Oh. Or maybe it's on my list.
It is on your list.
Okay.
There were so many games I wanted to put on my list that I genuinely forgot to add one, but we will be talking about that later.
What's your number 3, Danny?
My number 3 is, of course, Animal Well.
Oh, baby!
Animal Well. I told you we'd be talking about this later.
What a triumph!
Oh, Animal Well's a fucking fantastic game.
What a like genuinely impressive accomplishment.
All right, Billy Basso.
What a funny name.
Animal.
Sorry.
It's just. It's not. I don't know if it's funny. It just has a beautiful resonance to it. Alliteration makes every word better to say. So, Animal Well. If you haven't played it, Robin, would you like to explain this one? Because I've been going off for a while.
So I suppose I could describe Animal Well as a Metroidvania.
It's a video game.
It's a video game. But what I think sets it apart from so many other search action games like that is that there's not really any combat in it for the most part.
You don't have an attacking verb.
No, it's just about exploration in this massive underground structure filled with all manner of peculiar creatures.
You have, as the title somewhat suggests, fallen into the Animal Well. You're in a damp, dark little well that's full of animals. What bad could come from that?
Well, the thing about the animal kingdom is that it's savage.
Like Megan.
Just like Megan!
Megan.
I had to think about which Megan you meant there for a second.
Classy.
It's really good. I was completely suckered in by the by just how the exploration in that game feels. It is dead impressive, especially like when you consider it's a solo dev. But even if it wasn't, even if it was team people, it would still be like.
There's an amazing sense of mystery to that
Yes.
game, right? Like, it's what makes what makes it so intoxicating, because at no point in that game, even when we've been playing it for hours, I'm going to extrapolate because I assume you felt the same based on how you've talked about it. At no point did we ever feel like we really understood what the hell was going on.
No, absolutely not.
There are layers upon layers upon layers to Animal Well.
We played it together on stream, and we got the first set of credits. And once you get that, you don't know shit about the game. You think you know what's going on.
You've collected some eggs.
You think, oh, these eggs are fun. This isn't going to be a big part of the game, though, is it? Right?
Oh,
And then
no,
that's
it
your
is.
next 7 hours.
You gotta go collect every egg.
And you know what? Some of those, like just collecting one egg, like
One egg.
will have
Handful of peas.
handful of peas. Collecting one egg sometimes has like an entire like mechanic built out from it. Here's one tiny mechanical spoiler about Animal Well, a game filled with dozens of really interesting mechanics things in there. At one point you get the ball from Breakout and you have to like do a bunch of tile bopping bits.
Yeah.
Why does that happen?
It's cool,
I'm
isn't it?
so glad it happens. It is fucking cool, but it's so strange.
Have we... Oh, there's still a hedgehog that's left uncompleted.
I picked it up kind of because I wanted to see what all the fuss was about. I had a lot of people saying very, very favourable things about it, saying that it does bring back that level of mystery that is missing from lots of modern games. And also, solo dev project. That guy made that entire engine himself, by the way. Over the course of like 8 years. Here comes the...
You're welcome.
Here comes the obligatory mention of My Perfect Console.
He's there again.
So Billy Basso went on My Perfect Console and talked about making game a little bit in there as well. And apparently he was just like making this project as he was going along. And then whenever he needed a new mechanic to be in the game, he would then just go and make it. He would.
Oh, that's fine, right? It's easy to make a game. Just go make it.
Yeah, he would just go away and program what the.
That's hard.
Yep, he'd go away and program what he needed the thing to be in there, and then he would just go back to designing stuff, and that's why it took him 8 years.
You can really feel that in everything in that game, though.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird in a way to say you can feel the dev time in something, but it's a game that is so remarkably broad, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I can never... Not broad, maybe depth is the right term to use considering the WoW. There is so much to that game. There are layers and layers and layers that you uncover in such an interesting, organic way as you play through that game. To the point where if someone said that they played to the first set of credits and were like, hell yeah, that's all I played, I would go, yeah, it's a good game, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a rewarding experience at the end of that. You might think there are some other collectibles. I got a lot on, you know?
Yeah, you do not need to get involved in the full-on like arg that game goes into.
This is the thing, like, once you get the second set of credits, there is like another ending after that as well. That's where like you need to get the Discord guy people involved in as well, you know?
That's where you need to get your Discord kitten involved.
Oh, hang on a second. We've got a frame.
Oh, yeah, and a hedgehog.
Yeah! I'm trying to look for that little hedgehog's face. It's around here somewhere. Once you get the second ending, then you need to like start bringing in the boys for it, and the girls, and everybody else, and the people who don't give a fuck.
He's digging a hole. Honestly, Dusty, you say Fez-like. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Is a game where you uncover very confusing situations the more you play it. It is designed to be confounding. And I think that's really cool, basically.
Fox.
Fox. Looks like a fox. Is that all we've got on Animal Well? Should I move on?
Yeah.
Who-
What a cool game. It's very fun to like have those massive puzzles that are impossible to solve by one person. One of them literally impossible to solve because you need like 50 copies of the game.
Yeah. You need to crowdsource an answer to the puzzle. It's really cool. Hey, Robin, what is your number 3?
My number 3 is Lorelei and the Laser Eyes.
Oh!
This is a late edition. I did not play this game until quite recently because I heard it on other people's Game of the Year lists.
Where's the soundtrack? What? Is there one song in this game?
No.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, this is a game I've seen a lot about, but have not played myself, and I'm very interested in. Hey, Robin, tell us about Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, would you?
Lorelei and the Laser Eyes feels like a love letter to survival horror games from the past, wrapped up in a shell of very complicated puzzles. It presents you with this massive hotel, which is very Resident Evil 1 mansion as you're exploring it. And it tells you, just walk about and have fun. There are like 4 or 5 different avenues of puzzles to explore. The whole thing feels very non-linear. You can find like one set of puzzles like right until the very end of the game. You can get distracted with something, go down a different route, and then realize that you've not even like. It took me like 6 hours in that game to realize that there was a mechanic to get a map for the game.
Oh, you were wandering lost, huh?
Yeah, well, this is the thing, I didn't need the map because I just internalized the layout of that mansion so well. Monica?
Well, I'm holding her because she's in the way of the box.
Yeah, I found that I didn't really need the map because I was able to internalize the layout of the map so well, and then it turns out you actually do need the map for some puzzles because it tells you how to get into some rooms. It's just written on there. So that would have made my life a lot easier if I found it earlier. But that's kind of the incredible thing about it. It is by Simogo, who also made Device 6 and Year Walk, if those names mean anything to you. There is a bit of survival horror to it, but not really. There's no jump scares, but it's definitely a creepy kind of tone. Yeah, really, really impressive puzzle game. Also, what I really like about it, I think, is worth mentioning, is that all the answers that I got to the game will be different to if you play it, Danny, because they randomise most of the answers in there as well.
Oh, hell yeah.
So you need to actually understand what the puzzle is asking you to do. You can't just look up the numbers for it.
I don't understand anything.
Well, you better understand something quickly.
Oh, okay. It's got a really striking look as well.
It
I know,
does.
it's one of the things I know about it, it's very surface level, but goddamn, that game looks good.
Game's got a look. I guess I was just talking about like games like Resident Evil 1 specifically, but it's like sticking with Capcom. It's a bit Killer 70, you know?
Ooh.
It's a bit Killer 70 with that look. Like there's a lot of texture used in it. Like you will, nearly, you will like find. You walk down a hallway and then all of a sudden, like the floor texture, instead of being stone, it'll be like newspaper print or something, or the hands of a clock as you're walking down. But it looks so good. It's really evocative, and like it's something that I don't think I've really seen a game that looks quite like it. I was very impressed. Really good sense of tone in there. I was a bit of a Philistine and could not figure out much of the overarching plot in that game because it seems quite complicated. But there was a bit where you see some stage magicians, and so I enjoyed that.
And that fits in with how the tail end of your year has gone.
I'm learning all manner of card tricks. Why does nobody want to pick a card? Ever.
Because everyone thinks it's going to be a trick.
Yeah.
And it almost always is.
I'm glad
Badger.
that folks have also played Lorelei and the Laser Eyes. I think it was Yami in our lovely Discord.
Yes, they linked it to you, right?
Yeah. And it took me 6 months to play it, and then I was really glad that I did. Very good game. I had a lot of fun with it. I think that's...
Weasel.
Nice to meet you too.
Weasel. Is that all you'd like to say?
I think that's all I got for Lorelei and the Laser Eyes.
Let me return back to the musical station. Now we're really getting into it, Robin.
Mm-hmm.
So, that was your number 3.
That was my number 3.
Well, in that case, shall we move on to one you've mentioned previously?
So your top 2 games are games that I've mentioned previously, so I'm really curious to hear about this.
That's right, it's time for Kid Icarus Uprising again.
No!
We're going to talk about Thank Goodness You're Here.
Yeah!
Of course we're going to talk about Thank Goodness You're Here. I've got more
Thank goodness you're rear.
That's just how it sounds. I went more northern as soon as I started talking about Thank Goodness You're Here.
I just thought that was a joke that they would appreciate, and thank goodness you're here.
They do like bums in that game. Oh, Thank Goodness You're Here is such a good game. It is, I think at this point, ascending to the pantheon of my favourite games of all time. It's sort of hard to explain what Thank Goodness You're Here is in a concise way. I think they themselves call it a slap warmer. It is...
It's a funny little adventure game.
It's a funny little adventure game.
You've wanted the broadest strokes I could manage for describing that.
Quite broad. That's okay though. It is a game that's immediately struck a chord with me in that, I said it, we streamed it again very, very recently. It's, like I said, that moose. It's probably not a moose, is it? It's a game where everything in there felt so, I felt so intimately familiar with it.
Yeah.
It's a game set in the grimy, muddy north of England, and it felt like the shitty little places I grew up in. I say it with absolute fondness, but it felt like the grimy, grotty, sad little places I grew up in, that, as well as being all of those things, were whimsical and lovely in their own way, you know?
Still have lots of fondness for those places in spite of everything. Right?
Exactly. It's one of the only true representations of that part of the UK, which is a very large part of the UK, that I've ever seen, you know? It felt homely to me. It felt immediately like we, both of us, understood the people behind it.
Yeah, I don't think I felt more seen by a production than by than by Thank Goodness You're Here, honestly.
It's also, even if you're not from the UK and you're not being seen by it, fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
It is such a funny game. It's so silly, so funny.
I cannot overstate. We said before that comedy is very hard to do in a game, right? I can't overstate just how funny, genuinely uproariously funny, thank goodness you're here is. And it definitely like lines up with our senses of humour, right? It's very silly, it's very whimsical. That's part of a weasel. It's like really, really silly, really, really whimsical. And manages to nail that perfectly. Because I think silliness and whimsy is a really large part of what makes British places, right?
Yeah.
Like, there is a rich vein of whimsy running through this silly little country.
In spite of everything.
In spite of everything. Like, I think it is what makes like a sense of humour you'd consider traditionally British. That, you know? And it's not, being British is not something I'm particularly bothered about either way, you know? I am incidentally British more than anything, but that game really resonated with me in a way it's like, that's actually a game about the North, you know? But also, all those jokes are so funny, it's so silly. Like, it's a game that anyone from anywhere can enjoy, but it will give you a surprisingly accurate view of the north of England.
Yep.
And there's just so much there that is weird ephemera for the UK. There is a Lady Di memorial plate in there. There's a local butcher who always talks about his pies. You know?
Really like the pie man. We took a pilgrimage to Nottingham and actually met the person.
Oh yeah, met the voice actor of the pie man.
Yeah. Had a really good time doing that. It was one of my highlights of the year, honestly.
Thank you to John Log Blythe. Medibot, what's the gag that will stay with you for the rest of your life? I have to know. Hey Robin, while we type about that, what was your favourite gag from Thank Goodness You're Here?
We talked about the Lady Di plate falling, but like it takes the entire game to fall on the floor as well. There's lots of like. You really drag that one out.
You go past the same screen 4 times. You're incidentally sliding through a pipe, and the pipe runs underneath someone's living room. And as you go through it, you disturb the furniture in the living room. And every time you go past, the Lady Di memorial plate gets closer and closer and closer to the edge until eventually you smash the thing, and someone comes in. And so obviously Lady Di in reference to that royal, but they come in and they scream, "Lady Di!" and it's so funny.
Actually, I think I remembered my favourite one, which is when you walk past a workman who is hard at work, and you talk to him and says, "Can't sort now. Got to get these dogs in the ground by noon," which is already funny. That's already great. And then you talk to him a bit more, and he says, "Not actually burying dogs. That's what we call laying pipe." Which is what we call shagging.
Oh God!
You don't hear people say the word shagging in anything, especially video games.
If there's one thing we can all say that Austin Powers is right about, it is the inherent comedy of the word shagging. I would never use that word just to describe the actual thing, but saying the word shagging,
it's funny.
There's something inherently rubbish about it, and I think that inherent rubbishness is also something that's true of things that are very British, right?
Yeah.
Things that are very British tend to be a bit crap, a bit twee. And there is a whole vein of that running through. Oh, watering cant. Oh, watering cant is such a good joke. I really like the bit where you make a pie too big for Big Ron's big pie shop and his whole shop becomes a pie. I really like that bit.
That's really good.
Oh, dear. Genuinely, whether you are from British or you are lucky enough not to be, Thank Goodness You're Here is a very funny, very charming game that I cannot recommend enough. It is a perfectly sized little narrative adventure that will take you through, I don't even remember the name of the town. It's somewhere rubbish that's probably close to Barnsley. That it will take you through a day as someone working for the local government
of a silly little town, and you'll meet all of its inhabitants, and you get a vibe for what's going on. And you know what? What's going on is very silly.
I remember listening to Nextlander, the podcast, talking about it, and I remember Vinny asking, "Is it based on a real place?" And Alex confidently said, "No, it isn't," which is half true.
It's not directly based on a real place, but it's based upon the way that many real places feel.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a really good game. Genuinely going to be thinking about that game for a very long time. It's something that, because it is effectively like a narrative thing that is joke-based, something that'll probably be quite hard to replay for a while until it's fallen out of your head, right? But I feel like replaying that could genuinely become like a tradition for me every so often, because it's so funny and so homely to me.
I will also say, has got one of the best ending sequences.
Oh, the ending's so good. We can't talk about it, but the ending is so good.
Oh, we've already played it. Like,
Oh yeah, but folks at home may not have done.
that's true.
Let's leave some things to surprise, right?
Yeah, it was a perfect climax for that kind of game, basically.
Oh my god, Ren, you're so right. It's so funny that Big Ron has an enemy. Or rather, Big Ron is someone's enemy. I think Big Ron doesn't there is an acknowledgement of that, right? They have a rivalry. Someone makes the biggest possible pies, someone makes the smallest possible pies, and they are vying for, not control, they're vying for the top spot of this pointless empire in this silly little town. It is the like you say, it's just a perfect description of British people, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, it's so well observed of, like, actual lived British experience, right? Like, because when you think about how Britishness is represented in media, it's always, stiff upper lip. Sort of James Bond sort of character. The chimney sweeper's got stuck in the chimney again. Get the sweeper. We have to get this boy out of the chimney. I don't know what this character is.
I like it. It's taking me places.
Yeah, vaguely near London. But you know, it's always that sort of British. Or it's, all right, love, the cavalry's here.
Cavalry's here.
Oh, it's me, Tracer Overwatch.
People don't talk about the shit parts of England, which are some of the best parts of England, honestly.
I think the same is true of pretty much everywhere. Everywhere, if you grow up there, you will say it's shit, right? Because you have seen what it's actually like on a day-to-day basis. You know the grubby parts of it, you know the rubbish parts of it. And Thank Goodness You're Here is a game that joyously celebrates those.
Yeah.
It doesn't tuck them away. It doesn't, like, it doesn't over-exaggerate them. It feels like it actually represents them in a funny way. A genuinely funny way. And it's also made just by two weird little British guys. Mm-hmm. And every time they are on camera, it's a treat because they too are weird. They put it out in collaboration with Panic, the studio that's published Untitled Goose Game, and also the studio that made the Playdate and a load of Mac applications. I don't know how on earth they got into publishing. Sure. But I'm glad they did. Oh, they also did Firewatch. I'm really glad they did because they seem dedicated to bringing us really silly, weird little experiences. And they also produced a series of, like, advertising videos with your two main fellas. And they're so funny. And it's weird to say, but I cannot recommend watching the adverts for Thank Goodness You're Here enough, because they're genuinely funny.
Yeah. I was really taken aback by just how naturally funny those guys are. I should have expected it, really, but...
Yeah, but it's even so in an advert, it's weird to see, right? They wrote sketches for an advert, basically. Thank Goodness You're Here is really good. Thank you, thank goodness you're here.
Thank you, thank goodness you're here.
Thank you, thank goodness you're here.
There's also a reference to the Denby Dale pie incident in that as well. So,
should we leave that one as homework for the reader?
Yeah, you have to look that one up, folks.
That's my number 2. So hey, Robin.
Hello.
What's your number 2?
My number 2 is UFO 50.
Yeah, I thought it might be. Let's go.
Go on, put on Porgy.
No, I'm gonna put the whole thing on.
All right.
Let's start with the noise that makes when the LX starts up. Oh, UFO 50. UFO 50, where'd you start?
Let's talk about, let's just pick one game each.
I think we should explain the conceit first.
Okay.
I would also like to apologise to UFO 50 because I have excluded it from my list, which is definitively untrue. UFO 50 is actually my most played game of this year. I just had it on a list and forgot. Oh, stick Porgy on telly. Oh, put Porgy on telly.
Kids love Porgy.
Oh, I'd get some Porgy merch. I bought you UFO 50 merch for Christmas. I got you a slod.
Oh yeah!
You slods for my boys.
Slots for my boys.
Slods for my boys.
So UFO 50.
Robin, do you want a drink? I'm going to the kitchen.
I've got a can on the go actually. It's not because I've been yapping so much.
I've got a very dry mouth, so I have to go to the kitchen, but do carry on.
That's good beverage.
If that's good liquid.
UFO 50 is a joint venture. And if I was sitting at my computer, I would have pulled up a list of all the names of people involved in this. But as it stands, I can only remember Derek Yu, who is one of the people involved, but certainly not the only person involved. So this is a little bit uncool of me for neglecting everybody
I'm afraid
else.
I can only remember some of them by what they've done previously, but there's also the dev I know of Downwell was involved.
Mossmouth, right?
No, Mossmouth is Derek Yu's studio.
Damn it!
Or I don't think it's his studio. I think it's just one he's part of. But it's the studio behind things like Spelunky, and also the lead dev of things like Downwell and Catacomb Kids. I think there are also. I'm going to look it up now that we've started, but please do carry on.
Thank you. Yes, so it was worked on for about 10 years straight. Possibly longer if you want to get pedantic about it as well, because some of the games in there are were like prototypes and experiments and game jam things that they then punched up and made into full releases. The conceit of it is that it shows you the entire professional and creative arc of this company called UFO Soft as they release their entire catalogue of games. There's 50 of them, and you get to chart. You get to follow the course of from their very first game, Barbuta, which by comparison to the later games is dinky, but that's the point.
But it rules in its own way.
Until you get to is it called Cyber Owls?
Yes, the Saturday morning cartoon tie-in thing.
Yeah. And they're all good. There's maybe one game in the entire thing that I think doesn't hit, which is an incredible rate when you consider how many are in there as well.
They are out of 50 varying sizes of games, but all of which you could describe as experimental or playing with the medium in some way.
Yeah.
Also, I've got listed developers here.
Thank you.
Everyone involved were Derek Yu, John Perry, Paul Hubens, Tyreek Plummer, and Ojiro Fumoto. The music was composed by Eric Suke, who also did an incredible job, as you can currently hear.
Yeah. Genuinely, very...
Sheepy's asking if the game is Combatants.
Yeah, it was Combatants.
That one's a cool idea. I didn't understand what I was doing at all.
Me neither.
Yay!
But I kept winning somehow.
So actually, the one isn't Combatants. You hate, what's the one where you're praying to dinosaur gods?
Oh, no, that one's not bad though. I'm just bad at it.
I toasted your ass. Sorry, that was too fun even as a joke.
I liked it. It was funny. I'm pretty bad at 4X games anyway, so that's what I'm saying.
Is that a 4X game?
Yeah. It's a big strategy thing, isn't it?
I suppose you do kiss 4 separate dinosaur gods.
Exactly. Mwah, 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 mwah.
Bad noise. Bad noise for audio. Anyway, sorry. UFO 50.
There are so many different genres of games in there, and even if in the games that don't necessarily work
for you, because it's a wide old world of games.
Exactly. Yeah. There's still some really interesting ideas in there as well. We could spend the rest of the stream talking about this. We could solve this puzzle, break it apart, and then solve it again, and probably still have things to talk about in that game as well. So I think we should probably just talk about one game
Let's
each.
both choose a game that we really, really like. That's a
Okay.
good idea.
I'm going to talk about camouflage.
Of course you are. Of course you are.
Yeah, it was one that, like, as you were playing through, you kind of went, oh, that's interesting. And as we were playing through, I saw it and went, this is going to be my personality.
This is all you're going to talk about now.
It was the first one I cherried because it was the first one I played. I just bashed through all of it and had such a good time the whole way through. It's a puzzle game where you have to control a little chameleon and get to the end of this route, essentially. There are some awful predators that will try and catch you and eat you up because you are at the bottom of the food chain.
Oh, I thought you were going to say because I'm delicious and I was going to say thank you.
That can be it too.
Yay!
Maybe you're at the bottom of the food chain because you're delicious.
Oh, that would make sense.
So you get to disguise yourself and sneak through. And the whole thing took me about like 3 or 4 hours to beat because, like, even though it's one of a big collection of games, it's still like a whole video game, you know? Like, it is not. They didn't like just bash something together and go, oh, yep, there you go. That'll do.
That'll do.
They made the entire thing, and there are some really interesting ideas in it. I had a really good time with it, and it's the kind of thing where, like, as I was playing it, I thought, I am a genius. I have figured this one out, and then I'd make a wrong step and get gobbled up by a monster and go, I am an idiot. How could I have ever said that I was smart?
I'm responsible for the death of this small creature.
Really fun little thing. Danny, what do you want to talk about?
Oh, fuck.
Well, here's my top 10 UFO 50 games.
Genuinely, do you want to?
No, because I think I might have to have a couple of honourable mentions. Mooncat.
Oh,
Mooncat is such an... Oh, it's like, it controls in a way that I would describe as deliberately unusual. Like, Mooncat, again, is a game that plays with obscurity. So much in UFO 50 that is fascinating to me is because it is charting the history of a game development company through the 80s? Is it through the 80s into the 90s?
It's basically 89 to 90, isn't it? So.
It is the period of games where, like, a lot of stuff wasn't really set in stone, right? So I think they gleefully play with that in a lot of the designs of UFO 50 games. Mooncat being one of them, whereby the control scheme is busted, because I think they had an idea. I say busted, it's like, if you throw yourself into it without knowing what you're doing, you're gonna have a very confusing few minutes figuring it out, right? It's not busted broken, it's like, oh, this is not how I would ever expect you to control a game. And I think they play with that deliberately, like they're playing with the medium because they are having fun exploring what games can be.
Yeah.
And Mooncat as well. It's technically the sequel to, you mentioned it before, Barbuta, the first game in the pack. But it expands upon it in a really weird, interesting, fun way. I'm using the word weird a lot as a way to not have to explain it and give the game away.
It's a really unique control scheme.
It really
One that
is.
like took me so long to like actually pass, and even once I had it figured out, I was still walking off the edge to my death because that's what the game wants you to do, kind of. But then once I had it figured out, it's so expressive. It feels great once you actually know what you're doing in Mooncat. Yeah, like I suddenly wanted it to be twice as long so that I could. That's the kind of thing, though. It isn't twice as long. It's
No.
exactly as long as it needs to be.
If Mooncat was twice as long, it would be less good.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the role of a game should be to leave you wanting more. Hi, Lynx. Happy birthday, I believe.
Happy birthday, Liz!
Hi, Lynx. That is one of my honourable mentions, however. My second honourable mention goes... Ooh. Ooh, what's it go to? Party House.
A party house. Ooh.
Party House. Of course I'm going to have this as my honourable mention for UFO 50. It is a secret deck builder!
It's like no deck builder I've ever played.
Oh, it rules. It is
Genuinely, around the time at UFO 50, we spent a lot of time playing games in the same house. Our beloved friend JJ visited that week, and genuinely, while she was here, we just sat down and played a hell of a lot of UFO 50. We must have racked up genuinely like 10 hours in UFO 50, just sat there together.
And we only played half of the games because this was halfway through our stream, so we didn't want to spoil ourselves on what the back half of that catalogue would be.
Back half of that catalogue. Party House is an incredible game. Mortal is an incredible game as well. We played a lot of Mortal. Has the Mortal theme come up yet? I can't see what the computer's playing. Paint Chase? Oh, we've not reached Mortal yet. Actually, no, we've gone past Mortal then, surely.
I think it's the other way around.
Is Paint Chase before Mortal?
Yeah. I didn't really rate Paint Chase that much.
Oh my god! Hi, JJ! JJ
Hi,
appeared right as you
JJ.
mentioned how nice it was to have her here. Hi, JJ. We're moderately smashing a Puzz and really smashing a Game of the Year ranking. But my favourite game... Oh, it's so hard to choose. I want to also shout out Valbrace. That game is so cool. That is another dungeon... I'm just duplicating myself. That's another first-person Dungeon Explorer. I mentioned it before.
Yeah.
God, maybe my favourite game is...
Can we move some of these pieces around here?
Shit. Robin,
Okay.
I'll let you decide for me. Is my favourite game Campanella 2, or is my favourite game, I don't remember the name of it, my brain has gone bad, the one where you play as Alpha the Space Pirate Lady and you're just jumping upwards?
Oh, you mean Porgy?
I don't mean Porgy.
Velgress.
Velgress, thank you.
I was so bad at Velgress that I don't want to talk about it. So. That game's hard.
Velgress is cool. It's okay, we're all sickos in different ways. Velgress is the first one I cherried.
Wow. That's what I actually... No, I cherried
You cherried
Camouflage.
Chameleon?
Camouflage,
rather.
And then I cherried Magic Garden, which is actually maybe the GOAT.
Alphazar's hat!
Alphazar's hat!
Oh, I can't do this.
Let's talk... What was the other one? It was...
Campanella 2.
Let's talk about Campanella 2, because I really enjoyed Campanella 1. I think that, again, that's a really fun, expressive control scheme that I got the hang of, and then I lost the hang of when I get to the later levels, because that shit gets difficult. And so I didn't play Campanella 2 because I wanted to be better at Campanella 1, but I think playing Campanella 2 probably made me better at Campanella 1.
Yes, Campanella 2 is how I learned to be good at Campanella 1. They have the same control scheme, but you are exploring a little dungeon. And it has a bit of that Blaster Master stink. In Campanella 2, you play as a cute girl pilot. Not related to why I wanted to play that one more, but she is quite cute. I think you're the sister of pilots, and you're trying to rescue them because they've been imprisoned. You're doing a little adventure through a dungeon. You fly around in the Campanella. You beat up beasts with the Campanella's weirdest strike, but also you can get out of the Campanella, and here's where the Blaster Master stink is. You can enter little doors around levels. Some of them are shops, some of them are people you can visit, some of them are little dungeons where you can find treasures that change how you control on foot or you control on the Campanella. It's really, really, really cool. Flying the Campanella feels great, but also so does the shooting in Campanella 2. I feel like I could play Campanella 2 forever. I cherried it though, so I made myself play other games. I have a question. Robin?
Yeah?
You've answered this question already. You can answer it again if you'd like, but it is sort of a chat. Hey, everyone in chat. Oh, you can see my hands on the screen. I keep worrying I'm leaning into like that. Everyone in chat, what was your favourite UFO 50 game?
We should talk about Warp Tank while people are playing as well.
Oh,
'cause
Warp Tank is so... Warp Tank...
I saw people talking about Warp Tank and it made me think, fuck yeah, Warp Tank
Warp
rules.
Tank bangs! There was a really good run of Warp Tank at AGDQ yesterday.
I will try and catch up with it.
Yesterday? Oh, it was good though. Oh, it was good.
Warp Tank's so cool. Like, you think, oh, this is going to be an action game, then they say, hey, surprise, it's a puzzle game. And it's kind of a bit of both.
You
but,
can have
like,
both. You can have a puzzle spurred on by bullets being shot at you.
The puzzly bits felt great, and the actiony bits felt great too.
Oh, they really did.
I really enjoyed Warp Tank.
Lords of Disconia is a really good call.
Oh, that's so much fun playing multiplayer in that one.
Pink isn't a game in UFO 50, but I also really like that one too. I like Pink. Oh dear. Mini and Max! Oh!
Mini and Max is a game that I know that I will absolutely love if once I get around to sitting down.
There's so much depth in that. There's like a stunning amount of depth in Mini and Max.
Yeah, I was astonished when we just dabbled in it on stream.
Oh my god. Shall we move on to number ones?
Yeah.
Well, I wonder what this could be. Of course, we're not going to talk about number one yet, because we have some other things to talk about first.
Oh yeah, our honourable mentions.
Yes. Before we get there, it's time for some honourable mentions.
Our honourable oomfies.
But specifically, my list is not called honourable mentions. My list is called... What did I write it down as? It is my top 6 games that I haven't had time to play yet, but that I want to most of 2024.
Oh, I've got that list as well, but it's different. I've got my honourable mentions for games that didn't make my top 10.
In that case, I'll go through... What, Robin, in that case, if you have a list of honourable mentions, do you want to rattle them out real quick?
Yeah, I will. Tekken 8 is on here. Tekken 8 is clearly brilliant. I just did not spend enough time playing it.
Seems pretty good.
It's a really good one of those. They've got
lucky Chloe isn't there.
they've got the story mode arcade endings back, which were unfortunately absent from Tekken 7. And those they're so weird. They're so weird and funny, and it's just great to see those FMV ending cutscenes back again. Some of them get really bizarre and abstract. Steve's is so psychosocial and psychosexual and just weird. I really enjoyed it. Zenless Zero is on here. Ben Bigger is in that game. That was fun.
Yeah, that game's fine.
Case of Cud. It's cool.
We'll be streaming that one soon.
I'm too stupid for it. It's difficult.
Don't you worry, we'll learn it on stream together, come hell or high water.
I think we need to get some smarter friends in to join us for that one as well.
I'm so smart!
Then why haven't we played Caves of Cud yet?
I'm so busy.
And my last one on here is Atlas, which is a really adorable little thing. It's got one of my favourite character creators I've seen for a really long time. It's a little bit thin on the ground at the moment. It's still in early access, which is why I didn't want to talk about it in the context of best games of the year, but I definitely had a lot of fun playing it. I just had a lot of fun making a little guy. I saw people in our Discord talking about it as well, so I think a lot of people had fun making little guys as well.
That is a game that will get better with time. It is the early access quote-unquote problem where you really, really like the game, but you kind of can't play it because there's not enough of it there and you don't want to burn yourself out on it.
Exactly. It's fun to just run about, though.
It's fun to just run about. They made an offline MMO. They made a PSO is what they did. And God, it turns out I really wanted a PSO. In that case, can I move on to my list of top 6 games I haven't had time to play yet, but I want to most of 2024?
Yes, because I got a few of these that I want to talk about as well.
My list is, we've already talked about this one. Number 1, mouth-washing.
Mouth-washing!
That is a game that I don't think we'll stream because it's quite intense, but I will probably end up playing in a Discord with some lovely friends. Number 2, 1,000 Kiss Resist.
1,000 Kiss Resist?
1,000 Kiss Resist.
Also on my list of games I want to play.
That game looks unbelievable. That game looks defining. I cannot wait to play that. It genuinely, everything I've seen about it makes it look like it is an incredibly special experience, and I'm sad I haven't had time to get around to it yet.
I saw people saying that was a game so good it made them want to watch a documentary afterwards. So
Number 3, Tactical Breach Wizards.
Ooh, yes.
That is a game that we're both really excited about. We both played the demo and had an incredibly good time with it. And a game that neither of us had a chance to finish. Or get round to, rather.
Had a lot on.
Had a lot on. We've had an exceptionally busy end of the year. We've had friends and real-life commitments for about 6 months now. God, I want to rest. My number 4. Again, it's a scary game. This is a list of scary games Danny hasn't got around to because she's a baby. Crow Country.
Ooh, yeah.
I saw a little bit of our dear friend Daria Lacrimosa play through that game. It looks so good.
It looks really good. It's we've talked a lot about the PlayStation 1 aesthetic, but what sets Crow Country apart is that it's specifically an N64 aesthetic. And if you don't understand the difference between the two, I'm sorry, I don't have time to explain it.
There's also number 5, The Plucky Squire.
I don't know this one.
It's very, very cute. It seems like an adventure across storybooks. The style is very, very lovely, and a lot of my very smart friends have been going off about it for quite some time since it released. It seems, again, one of the games of 2024. It also seems like it's maybe not got as much heat as it deserves. So
Okay.
I'd really like to stream that one because it looks adorable.
Yeah, let's play that one on catch-up stream. There's not much coming out in January 2025, right?
Oh, don't say that.
Ooh.
Oh, hang on. This is a list of 7. I've just thought of 2 more.
All right.
So number 6 was Slay the Princess.
Yes, this is a name
technically-
I kept hearing, actually.
Technically, it came out a couple of years ago. They did like I think, expanded re-release this last year. This looks really, really good. An awful lot of people have been talking about it. I really want to know what's going on with that. The princess looks like a nightmare in a way that seems really cool.
It makes you want to slay her.
It does. Can I say the 2 I've just thought of as well?
Yes, and then I'll say mine.
One of them is something we are going to be streaming soon that Peep has just mentioned. Sorry, We're Closed.
Yes, I want to know more about this. It's definitely a name I've heard a couple times now.
It's a gorgeous looking game. Seems, again, it has a little of that's almost a survival horror aesthetic to it. I don't actually know what style the game is. It looks cool as hell, though. It also looks... This is a concept we talk about quite a lot, Robin. We mean this exclusively complimentary. It seems like a game for perverts.
Yeah.
Again, in that, like, it deals with, like, subject matter in a really interesting and funny seeming way that I really want to check out.
We've been saying, like, for perverts quite a bit recently. I've been playing a game that we're not going to get into discussion of on stream because it is too much, called Beyond Citadel. And that is a game that we've described as for perverts. I think that the developer of that is making exactly the kind of game that they want to make, and they are not compromising on it, and that is admirable. I've been really enjoying it, and it is...
There is an artistry to it.
Yes. It is kind of alienating, but that is
Yes, kind of.
intentional.
We both saw our dear friend Dominic on Twitter. Not Twitter, what's the other one called? Blue Sky.
Blue Sky.
Talking about that.
Yeah, we saw Dominic talking about on X, the Everything app.
Okay, now it's time for our other categories. Worst social media network of the year. It's X, the Everything website. Wait, hang on. That's just Todd and Aaron.
They're just doing Todd and
Hang
Aaron,
on,
yeah.
that's accidentally just Todd and Aaron.
Hottest guy! Luigi Mangione!
I just think there's something about him. I just think he's got magnetism. Sorry, that's Mega 64's bit.
Yeah.
That was not intentional.
My list of...
Well, I have one more.
one more.
I had one more. Echo Point Nova.
Yeah.
Speed-based game.
Schmovement.
I like to go fast. I like to be hot with it.
Yeah, that one looks fun.
That's my list.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My list is relatively short. I'll keep it punchy because we're running low on time.
Are we? Yeah, we'll need the rest to talk about this last game.
Yeah. Llamasoft, the Jeff Minter story.
Yeah.
It's... What a cool idea, and like those guys seem to be really good at making those like interactive documentaries styles.
That's the people who did the
Karateka.
Yeah, Kraska one.
Yeah. Pacific Drive is also on here. I want to know more about that. Sounds like my kind of thing. What else? Nine Souls. Our dear and lovely friend Chachi actually bought this.
Did you call him Chachki?
Chachki, yeah. Thank you, Chachki.
Our dear lovely friend Clutter.
I'm in trouble. Chachi picked up for me for Christmas. Very kind of them. I will be playing through this soon. I've had a lot on. And the last one on here is Indica. I want to know about the fucked up little weird nun game.
I just thought of another one.
Go on.
I want to play Victory Heat Rally.
Ooh.
I didn't get a chance to play Victory Heat Rally this year. I want to.
So, for the last thing, do you want to talk about your game, which we could be talking about for hours, or do you want to talk about my thing, which we can get out of the way, then go back to your thing?
Do you think... Would you rather do it that way? Because we can do it that way. Sure,
Yeah.
let's do your number one. See, this might be still on my list, so if it is, we'll skip it and come back later.
My game of the year, 2024... is
I am a beast.
I am your beast.
I am your beast.
I
Yeah.
am your boy.
I knew this one coming in. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, huge news. Do you want to know what the soundtrack to I Am Your Beast is called?
Tell it to the people at home, Danny.
I Am Your Beats.
It's such a good name.
Oh, hell yeah.
They know exactly what they're doing.
Oh, that's fucking great.
Danny?
Hey, Robin, tell us about I Am a Beast.
It is a, so I think like putting UFO 50 at number 2 and then this one number 1 like kind of says like what I'm focusing on about these games because
Does it have a bear trap in it?
it does.
Hello, I'm alive, by the way.
Hello. UFO 50 is a game that has like incredible breadth to it. What? What's weird about that?
Nothing, that's fine. Me too.
Incredible breadth.
Yeah?
Whereas I would say that I Am Your Beast is a game that does one thing and does it as well as you possibly can, I think. It is... Genius brain. It is exceptionally fast-paced.
Sorry. Do carry on.
You've thrown me. It's so fast-paced. It's so punchy. It is like demands so much attention as you're playing through the entire thing. But it's such a rewarding experience as well. I mentioned that like I played through Neon White this year as well. Really enjoyed that game. I think that definitely matches your own personal aesthetic. However,
Yeah, I Am Your Beast is your aesthetic.
in I Am Your Beast, you get a sidearm weapon, which is a bear trap that you throw at people's heads. And I love that. It kind of feels like a... so the plot of the game is that you have retired from your job in this shady government organization where you do you do crimes for the US government.
For the US government?
For the US government, imagine
Surely not.
that. And you've quit. You're out. You've done your last job. You don't want to come back to the field. You are retired. And then you get a call from the general who says, "Hey, buddy, do you want to do one more?
Hey, what you up to? Hi.
Hi, bestie.
How you living?
Do you want to do one more job for us?" And then your character says,
Oh my god, you're gonna hate me.
No. And then the general says, well, if you don't, I'm going to blow up your house and send a bunch of men to capture you and you bring you back. And you say, all right, send them then. And you then embark on an unbelievably violent crusade of murdering these soldiers that are trying to bring it back into the field. It's so fast-paced. It is so much fun and so rewarding. I mentioned that you get the bear traps as throwable items. Later on, to replace the bear traps, you get instead of grenades, you get claymore mines you can chuck at people's heads. And then to replace the claymore mines, you just get a rocket launcher. You just like have a gun in one hand and a rocket launcher in the other hand, and that's how you play that game.
I mean, it's the coolest form of explosions you can get.
It was so much fun. Definitely like one of the most fun experiences I had. And they also updated it recently with a bunch more levels that are absolutely massive and really difficult because they're so big, but they still like want you to do them fast. Like, I don't even know how to start figuring out some of those levels. There's also a vocal theme right at the end, which absolutely bangs.
Oh, hell yeah. Perfect place to hide a vocal theme, honestly.
Yeah. I think you should play it, Danny. I don't know if it's one for stream because it might genuinely make people motion sick. But yeah,
I need to find some time to be a beast, though.
Yeah.
I haven't been a beast, I need to be.
Also, the voice acting of the main character is voiced by Zalavia Nelson Jr., who is from Strange Scaffold. He does a really good job. It was just a really fun little performance of your guy in that one.
Yeah, of Beast.
Of the titular beast from I'm Your Beast. Yeah. Also, yeah, there's one level where You can kill people by like shooting beehives and they drop on their heads and they get stung to death by bees. That's just funny. I don't know what to tell you.
Seems mean.
Well, so does all the crimes that the guys do trying to bring you back, right?
Oh, that's true. Maybe the bees justify the ends.
I am your
the
bees.
ends justify the bees.
Ah.
No, that's not anything.
It's okay. Well, you know what? I enjoyed I Am Your Bees so much that it doesn't matter
Yeah,
that your joke didn't land.
You enjoyed your joke. I'm going over here now.
All right. Play me that jazz fusion, Danny.
You don't know what's coming next.
I literally do.
No, you don't. What do you think's coming next?
We're just gonna sit down and listen to Mint Jams by Cassiopeia for the next 45 minutes.
I'm trying to think of a game that has like a funny trumpet soundtrack to play.
Oh, Resident Evil 1.
Stick a basement theme on. Yeah, you know what my number one is. It's a game we played a disgusting amount of.
Mm-hmm.
Stick on the classics. It's time for Balatro.
It's Balatro.
It's time to talk about Balatro. Oh, Robin. This is a game I know we both spent an absurd amount of time playing. I know it's a game a lot of our friends have spent an absurd amount of time playing. It's a game that goes through our friend group in waves. It goes through pretty much everyone's friend group in waves.
Yeah.
God, it feels strange at this point to try and have a conversation about Balatro, because I feel like every conversation about Balatro has happened. If you don't know what Balatro is, and you probably do, to be fair, it is ostensibly poker. Very ostensibly. It is poker, but messed up. You are in an imaginary sort of poker setting, maybe an imaginary casino. There's certainly blinds, and you have to make the best hand you can, like in poker. However, what kind of poker would you call Balatro? Because it's certainly not.
It's draw poker. It's
Draw poker,
video draw poker.
It is based on draw poker, but then it adds its own delicious set of rules on top. There are modifiers called jokers. You might have seen jokers in the advert they quite recently did with that actor whose name I forget.
Ben Starr.
Ben Starr, thank you. Of him being weird. It was really good.
It's
He
really
eats
funny.
2 bananas.
Why did you do that? It's completely thrown us now.
Because I like to think about him pretending to be Jimbo the Joker. Yeah, you have a series of modifiers on your poker hand called jokers, and also you can modify the cards themselves, and within those two is where the game gets really, really interesting. Jokers both increase your score, but also do really messed up stuff. For example, it could be like, well, every time you discard a card, a joker gets stronger. It could be like, hey, when you have this joker, to make a straight, they don't have to be contiguous anymore. You can do 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. That's weird, isn't it?
That's weird.
That modifies how poker plays. And your goal is simply, by playing poker hands and using your jokers and modifiers, do big score.
Yeah.
You are up against blinds. Similar to poker, you just have to get a certain amount of score to beat to surpass a goal, right? You're not fighting monsters, you're not even fighting like casino-style enemies. You are fighting a number. But even so, Balatro is like weirdly magical. It has so much juice inside of it that makes the simple act of picking and playing these hands feel so satisfying. There is one specific effect that I know everyone is fully aware of the effect I'm going to mention, but it feels fucking magical every time you get it. It's one of the best feeling effects I've ever seen in a video game. I mean, you know I'm like a UI girly anyway. I think about UI stuff like this all the time. If you, in a single poker hand, happen to score enough points that you can beat the blind you're on in one go, the little score counter on the side of the screen, which honestly is usually pretty satisfying. Every time it counts up, it does like a little bit of screen shake. It makes like a cool bonk noise. It sounds really cool as it tots up. But if it tots up really, really high, and if you're going to win, it sets the hell on fire. Flames, like beautiful gradient flames start erupting from your score counter, and this really loud inferno sound effect starts playing, and you feel so cool.
Yeah.
Because you are the best at poker. In that exact second, nobody has ever been better at poker than you. You know?
It genuinely never gets old, especially because like it is a way of signaling to you, the player, you're on the right lines, buddy. You got this. You are. No one can stop you, Mr. Domino.
Oh my god! I didn't put. No one can stop. Can I put that on my honorable mentions, please?
It's an honourable mention.
Thank God.
Yeah, it's such a triumph. Can I talk a little bit of the story around Balatro and just like our own personal experience with it?
How so?
I remember when we went to go and see Jeff Rosenstock earlier this year.
Yeah.
Very cool gig.
Gig of the year. For me, not for Robin. That'll come up later.
If you have time to, I suppose.
What time are we on?
Yeah. We were in German Doner Kebab outside the venue, getting ready to go in, talking about it. Just chatting about like...
Just chatting about Balatro.
Yeah. And I remember our friend Max mentioned how you can get an enhanced banana card in the game.
Yeah, the Cavendish.
The Cavendish.
Cavendish.
And you can get it by like...
You can get an enhanced banana as such a pretend video game phrase.
that's why I said it like that, you know? You can get an enhanced Cavendish if your Gros Michel gets consumed, and then you get lucky and it'll appear again later on. And then I remember you saying like, oh, I didn't know there was that like level of stink to it, that level of like roguelike.
That level of complexity to how those cogs interact with each other, right?
And as you said that, I remember thinking like, oh, this is going to be like the next thing, right? Like this is going to be absolutely massive. And you know what? I was right. Good on them for getting nominated at the Video Game
the
Awards.
Keenies?
Yeah. Which is like, I don't like that. I don't like that event. It feels way too corporate.
Yeah,
but,
it's all advertising, isn't it?
Yeah, but like, it's still really cool that the little game that could, like, the developer made it just for himself and maybe some of his friends.
Yeah. That's the other weird part. Like, it's like the only game at the Jeff Keighley Game Awards this year that was one person. There was a team of publishers behind it. There was a team of like people making sure that game gets out there. But that game is developed by one person. It's really. I mean, we've still got it going in the background. It's so developed by one person that the soundtrack for the game, which is one song, was composed by someone that the developer found on Fiverr, apparently.
Yeah.
And God, they did the sickest job ever.
Nailed it.
Whoever they found. I'm going to say whoever they found. It's on their channel. I'm going to check on YouTube.
Got it in one. Like
Louis F. They absolutely nailed the soundtrack. Like, we talked about this before. The Balatro soundtrack, the Balatro song.
It's hypnotic.
It's weird to think about how much it is just one song, because on the many, many hours that I've been playing Balatro, my friends have played Balatro, and the streams I've watched of Balatro, I've never once thought to myself, oh, I'll just put my own music on. The music in Balatro is so good. And that's partially, Robin, because as you were about to say, it's probably done it's in 7/8 time.
Yeah, it is.
It's everything about Balatro. The gameplay itself, the juice the game has, it just comes together in a way that has absolutely captivated like the whole of gaming this year. Like, everyone is talking about it. Like, as you say, it's the little indie game that could. It dropped out of nowhere, right? There's one developer for it, and it kind of gained momentum. Like, there was some really, really clever marketing around it. Like, there were Twitch tournaments when the demos were out before release.
They gave it to a few streamers who play a lot of those kinds of games. And
Yeah.
like, it's the kind of game that, like, when you watch it, it makes you want to start playing it yourself, as opposed to the kind of game where you watch it and then you go, great, I don't need to buy that now.
Yeah, and it's kind of the thing about streaming, right? There are games that you probably would never have got that you would like to see someone stream because it's kind of cool and kind of fun, right? But you want to see it to know for yourself, like, is this something I would play? With Balatro, I could watch an infinite amount of that and still want to play myself. Because the way that the mechanics interact, the way that you deal with the stuff thrown at you, and specifically, the way that that game wants and encourages you to absolutely break maths, right? is so cool. Balatro is so good.
It's so good.
It's so good.
How do they do it?
One complaint about Balatro.
Let's hear it.
The Wheel of Fortune is mean to me.
It's a 1 in 4 chance.
Yeah, but the thing about probability is that when the human brain interacts with it, that's actually quite often why probability and numbers in games will be juiced. It's why XCOM probability, for example, is not accurate. It's actually juiced upwards rather than down, because you interpret that as happening less often.
Yeah, it's. I feel like I'm maybe just like lying to myself a little bit by not putting it higher on my list, but it is utterly captivating. It really is that good.
The thing is, I don't think it's unfair. Like, the concept of a ranked list of 10 games, we're at the end of it now, we can talk about it, right? It's very difficult because at some point you kind of end up making rash decisions because you realise I have to rank these, but some of these are incomparable, right? Yeah. Balatro and I Am Your Beast are two completely different dinners. You are asking yourself, which do I prefer? Do I like lasagna or do I like pho?
Do I like headshots?
Do I like lasagna or do I like headshots? And you know what? It depends what kind of day you've had.
Unfortunately, 2024 was a year that made me prefer headshots, and no further elaborations at this time.
What did she say? I saw she.
Yeah, I did a Wheel of Fortune for Peep and it worked for them.
Ooh.
So actually, when I say Wheel of Fortune is being mean, what I was doing was opting into a Balatro joke. I've actually always had quite good luck with them.
Yeah.
Because that's the kind of girl I am. Anytime there is luck in a game, I will always go for it.
She loves big crits.
Oh god, I love big crits.
It is. I think that like we've both spent a lot of time around deck builders, and seeing what Balatro does is just. It's pretty good.
That is a good picture, Phil. Thank you.
Thanks, Phil.
We had a gentle chuckle.
Yeah, I liked that. And there's so many fresh ideas in that. I think that like. Now, I'm not going to talk trash about anybody when I say this, but you did see quite a few imitators
Of Balatro specifically.
Yeah, where not just like Joker, Poker, Balala on the App Store. For example.
Things that are more
Clones of it,
direct
yeah.
copies, more stumble chums.
Yeah. But like, I remember seeing a game that was like Mahjong, but kind of fucked up as well. And like, it's interesting that like it was inspiring people to look at traditional games and think like, okay, how can we like put this into overdrive? How can we change this one around a little bit?
I mean, it's interesting because it sort of has kick-started a subgenre, right? It sort of happens with any game that is popular enough and revolutionary enough, right?
Yeah.
Because I don't think anybody has looked at like a casino game in the way that Balatro looked at poker before. Balatro uses the context of a deck building roguelike in a way that is absolutely nothing like any other deck building roguelike, right? You are literally building a deck in Balatro. You're building one of the classic decks even. Oh, wait, I have a deck of cards.
A deck of 52, or perhaps a deck of 40, or perhaps a deck of 63, or...
You're building one of the classic decks in Balatro is the thing. But it doesn't work like that. When you're doing deck building, like, you are adding 1,000 shivs to your hand. You're churning through a deck. In Balatro, when your deck runs out and you haven't beaten the blind, you lose. You are building a deck to play with.
That's only ever happened to me once. It was very sad.
Robin, guess a card.
Do
Oh my
we
God.
just say the card out loud?
Yeah.
Okay, 7 of Hearts.
I don't know what it says. I picked this at random.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
I picked that at random. It's not all Queens of Hearts, is it? No, that's... How did I pick the Queen of Hearts at random?
And the 7 of Diamonds, which is a red 7.
What? I've weirded myself out. That's me. What we said? Oh yeah. By the way, I just wanted to get these on screen because these are really funny big
Those are
cards.
nice, yeah.
We bought them for a stream with JJ, and then we never used them because we ran out of time. But these are really big cards. Hey Robin, you want me to deal you a hand?
All right. Let's play draw poker. Let's see if I can get a flush.
How do you do draw poker?
Well, give me. Let's play around a boundary. Give me eight.
Can you
cards.
shuffle them, please? This is fitting for Balatro, isn't it?
Oh god, this is real clown nonsense.
Yeah, there's a reason I asked you to shuffle them, and it's not just because I'm bad at
I
shuffling.
can't riffle these.
Peep, you're so right. These cards are too large. That's almost their defining feature. Would you like me to shuffle half of them?
Yeah, if you wanna do that.
This is stupid. This is too big. It's too long.
Okay, I'll cut the deck.
You want 8 cards, do you?
Yes, please.
Well then, how many discards do you have?
Let's go with 2.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to look away so I can't see what hand you have.
Why does that matter?
Because it's fun. It sounds like he's got something good.
Okay. Yep.
Do you want to discard any?
Actually, no.
What? Okay.
Straight flush.
We didn't shuffle those very well.
Nope.
Oh dear, I've burst into flames. We shuffled those bad. As evidenced by that bit, Balatro's good.
That's what we've learned.
Thanks for coming to our little Balatro bit, everyone. This isn't related to anything. I got some nice playing cards.
Those are nice.
Oh no, not these ones. These are the stupid ones.
Well, the stupid ones are still fun.
Yeah, these are nice. These are nice as a bit, but I got some nice ones. I got some nice ones for Halloween.
Ooh.
You want some Halloween playing cards?
Kind of do, actually.
Pick one.
Ooh. Okay.
I'm forcing a card on Robin.
You know.
Aren't you? Ah, just as I expected. No, show the camera.
Oi!
Ah, how interesting. I see.
Do we put that back in the deck? then?
Yeah, please.
All right. What card was that then?
I think it was the 4 of clubs.
Whoa! Mind freak.
Yeah, Cool Shirts made a really cute. Oh, there's a Joker, like Balatro. Made a really cute set of cards that were all Halloween themed.
I can do a magic trick actually, if you'd like to see one.
Oh, I suppose.
Can I have both joke? So is this both the Jokers then?
Yeah.
All right. Oh, okay. So, this is also very cool.
This isn't very Balatro. Balatro for magic tricks.
That'd be fun. All right. Do you want to go ahead and pick one? This isn't a force. 4 of clubs. We just did the 4 of clubs.
Why is that one that way around?
They're all face up.
Oh, I thought they were. That's mine.
Okay. Actually, you know what? Don't show it to me.
Is that up on the camera? It's kind of dark. I got it.
Okay, now put it on the bottom of the deck. Okay.
Robin's been watching Magic recently.
Yeah. Hang on. Okay.
I expertly concealed the rank, apparently. Oh, those are never coming out of that deck.
What, the Jokers? I'm just putting the Jokers on top.
Oh, okay, I thought you were shuffling them in.
So the thing about the Jokers, right? They do like to have fun. But I'm putting them to work, okay? Because you shuffle that deck,
Yeah.
they're going to find your card. Okay? Because go on the top, one on the bottom like that. Is that your card?
Yes.
There you go.
Yes, it is. The Jokers didn't like being put to work and they slightly rebelled. These cards are too slippery. The rank was the Jack of fucking daggers. Oh, it's the Jack of Hearts because they're covered in hearts.
Oh, that's nice.
This is the Jack of Daggers.
There's my magic trick. It worked.
Robin did some magic. Robin did a presentation about Randy Pitchford at Christmas. Sorry, that's too cruel a segue.
I liked it. I just wasn't expecting it.
You did though.
I did.
You did a pretty good episode about Randy Pitchford. You started with Hey Y'all.
I did start with Hey Y'all.
Didn't go unnoticed.
You're welcome.
Oh, is it still playing Balatro?
That's fine. We can keep that on.
Oh yeah, I'm not upset about it. I'm just double checking. Oh, it's actually just finished. Well, let's wrap that back around. Oh yeah. Robin absolutely did, JJ. At Christmas, our dear lovely friend and Robin's dear lovely brother wanted to do the Smarty Pants Society. So we all made well not fake, silly little presentations. Did like 10-minute PowerPoints. It was fun and a little stressful.
None of them lasted 10 minutes.
Mine lasted 15.
Everybody's overran.
Yeah.
But that's okay. I think that even Smarty Pants Society stuff would overrun. They just have editing.
That's true. We didn't have editing. Oh yeah, New Year, not Christmas. It's the Christmas period. Robin,
Benny,
we talked about all of our games and it's 11 o'clock.
do you want to keep going and smash a bit more of this Puzz, or do you want to sign off for the night?
I think I might. I think I'm tired.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I had a really long day at work.
That's alright, that's alright.
I collected some parts of a fox or maybe a squirrel.
This Puzz is going to have to remain unsmashed then in this case.
I can smash this on my own time.
I think you did a pretty good job smashing the hardest parts of this Puzz. We
We got the outside. We got the letters.
kind of broke the back of it, yeah.
Oh, poor animals.
Oh wait, hang on. Is this gonna... What is that?
Animal.
What part of the animal is this? Probably legs.
Probably legs or tail or horn or tongue.
Oh, wait, this one doesn't have horns. This one goes over here with a...
But. But ears.
Consider that Puzz smashed.
Okay.
No!
Oh dear. What else happened in 2024 that you want to talk about?
We saw Cheekface live.
Yeah.
That was really nice. Thank you, Danny.
Yeah.
Thank you, Matt.
We took you to see Cheekface and you had a little conversation with the lead singer of Cheekface and you were both awkward together. It was nice.
Oh yeah, I brought him a a jelly cat because I don't know how to interact with other people. So I thought, well, maybe you'll like this, and brought him a stuffed toy, and he said, well, I'm going to name it Greg, which is also his name.
2 Gregs.
2 Gregs.
I just found 2 Gregs.
It's a good video. I
What?
really enjoyed that concert. It's nice to go to a show where I know all the songs. Most of the time I go to a gig and I quite like seeing live music and like experiencing it for the first time like that. We finished one animal to the fueled ball.
Love that animal.
It's quite nice to go to a gig and like
Huh?
bring your hands towards
Oh, it's fine. I put my bedtime mittens on because I'm cold.
But yeah, it was nice to be able to go to that one and sing along to everything. I had a really good time with it. Cheekface are a band that I've listened to a lot this year. You might have noticed that by all the times that I've just said one of their song lyrics out loud. We have quite a few times when playing Gartic Phone, I've used one of their song lyrics as just a prompt for someone to work off of, such as vaping in the parking lot with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, or a formation of clouds that spell out abolish ICE. They are a group that I really enjoy. I think mostly because they're just genuinely quite funny.
They've said before that the lyrics they write are just because they make themselves laugh, which I think is a nice way to write lyrics.
That is nice.
My gig of the year was Jeff Rosenstock because I've liked that guy for a really long time.
Yeah.
And we saw them in a extremely small back of a pub capacity of about 100 people, and it was loud, and I had a religious experience when they played the back half of the album Worry.
Yeah.
It was really good. Let's all do more live music in future. What were other experiences that were good in 2024?
I saw the TV glow. Okay, moving on.
That film's really good. I cried. That's the end of it.
Oh. Yep. It was a really wonderful experience to watch it in a cinema with a lot of other visibly queer people.
The gays were out that day.
Yeah. Really, really like impressive cinema experience just overall.
I didn't like the bit where there was a really, really intense and pretty monologue set to swelling music, and then my dad's surname floated across the screen.
As if the characters in the film were pointing directly at you.
It's fine. I figured it out.
Yeah.
It's fine. I changed it. Valentine now. Happy first anniversary to the surname Valentine. I did it.
Well done. Good job in doing it.
I did it. What else happened in 2024? Shout outs to British Kebab Awards nominee Mr. Souvlaki.
Oh, yeah.
We hope you win, King. You deserve it.
They got that was good. We saw Ginger Root.
We saw Ginger Root live, also very good. Genuinely the best live staging of any production I've ever seen. I think we've talked about it on stream before, as well as Mr. Root himself. They have a bassist and drummer, and also as part of the touring band, they have a camera operator. The way that they do live performances is that they have a person with an old, like VCR era TV camera slung over their shoulder, and they pipe live footage into like old CRT TVs that they bring with them and onto the back of the stage sometimes, and do weird old video toaster ass effects to them. It's really, really, really good.
It's so cool.
Ginger Root have a like a whole internal universe in terms of like a story running through a lot of their singles and albums, and a lot of that stuff comes up in the live shows too. It's really cool. It's really good to, for example, start a gig with a VT of the head of a fictional TV studio shouting at the crowd and asking them what they're doing there.
In Japanese, when most of the subtitles are behind people's heads, so they can't even see what...
Yes.
That was funny.
I think that was Manchester's fault. Thank you so much, JJ. Happy early Valentine's Day to everyone.
Yeah.
Wait, where is she? Where is she? Ah, the elf felt. I love that animal. Where's the rabbit? There's the rabbit. There's the rabbit. I can't remember anything else that happened in 2024. We saw lots of our wonderful friends. I'm very, very happy for the chance that we saw lots of friends from so far away.
Yeah.
We got to see, we mentioned, saw lovely friend JJ. We saw our dear, lovely friends Peep and Dahlia. We saw many other friends that were very, very lucky to come visit as well.
Oh, we just got a raid.
Did we? Hello, Kay.
Okay.
Thank you so much for popping by. How on earth are you doing? We were smashing a Puzz and talking about games of the year, but we already finished the games of the year and my hands are cold, so I put on my bedtime mittens.
Hang on a minute.
What?
Get that shit out the way.
Are you about to finish
wait, no,
what's that say? Uke?
There.
Bank Vol.
Black Vol.
Bank Vol.
Black...
No,
it is Bank Vol.
Yeah, it's not Black Hole like that character from Daughter. How you're doing? Also, Robin, what was your game of the year? I am a beast.
I am that boy.
You are that.
I am that guy.
I was gonna say a different word, not guy. Mine was Balatro as well. We can't go through the whole list again. I will also ask.
We could run down the list real quick. It's been 3 hours. I'm gonna run down my top 10.
I've got mittens on.
I'll figure it out.
No one made you put mittens on.
I got cold hands.
My top 10 games of the year of 2024, games that came out. I did play all of these, most of them were just to see on stream. But number 10, thank goodness you're here. Number 9, Helldivers 2. Number 8, Web Fishing. Number 7, Wilmot Works It Out. Number 6, Animal Well. Number 5, Mouthwashing. Number 4, Balatro. Number 3, Lorelei and the Laser Eyes. Number 2, UFO 50. And number 1, I Am Your Beast. That was my list.
My list of the games I liked most in 2024, except I missed some of them. I'm really sorry, UFO 50 and several others. It's really hard to write a list by Danny Valentine. Number 10, Yohani the Pahiri and Namazu in the Mirage. Why are you laughing?
It's a funny name. Something that's not a funny name.
I did partly put it on the list because I wanted to say it, but I also really like that game.
It can be two things.
Hello, I'm back on main microphone. I don't... Oh, main microphone might... Oh, no, there you go. Main microphone doesn't appear to be catching this up. Well, who... Can everyone hear us now? Yeah, it seems to be coming through. We're back on main mic. Hello. I don't know what's happened to the lav mics. They appear to have just stopped working. We were going to stop anyway, so now might be the time. Hey, Robin, do a cool sign. The double defos! The coolest sign! Robin, can you get Elf out on screen so it's like I'm there? Why I dropped my mitten? What represents Robin? Do I have a bear in here? Bear in mind. Bear in mind. Do you want to be... This?
Kinda.
Yeah. Robin, that's you for the end of the stream. Yeah, that's coming through in the background, I think. Oh dear. Sorry that we had a microphone issue at the end, but well, that's probably a good enough time for us to go to bed anyway. Robin, you have to go home still. Thank you for dunking that layup. We are probably going to call it here then. Thank you so much for joining us today for Puzz of the Year 2024. This is my favourite tradition. I love to try and smash a Puzz. We might need to set our sights lower. There's a switch on the background where you can switch from low to high as well to make deeper noises. This is something we'll probably end up doing again. It's fun to smash a Puzz together. It's fun to do a list together. It's really making my head go empty. Oh, you know what? JJ, thank you as well. And indeed, thank everyone for a wonderful year together. Here's to many, many more sparkly streams together and also causing lots of stupid trouble together. This is also the year we're going to do at least a 24-hour stream. We'll figure that out when we get there, though. I am gonna send us off to go see a friend. Ooh. Cheop's playing a game called Home Safety Hotline. That sounds fun. Let's go see them. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. Thank you as well, BP Robin. We will see you again very, very soon. In fact, I'll see you... Oh, I've got to tidy up for tomorrow. I'll see you again tomorrow when I'm playing Kitsune Tales. Robin, Actually, we don't know if we're doing us. We'll figure something out. We'll see you again very, very soon. Until then... Wait. Different thing. Until then, see you next time, and remember...